development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
With the rockets or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
I need help, please help!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roger, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0,
doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting, and of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. What's going on, guys? Got a wild one for you. We've been talking about this for the last couple days on the Discord, and of course, well, the world is becoming a wild place. Talk about novelty theory and things getting more and more bizarre. And I posted a photograph, and not just I posted it on X, but I put it in the Discord a couple days ago as well when this news hit about resurrecting dire wolves. But I was thinking about what maximum novelty achieved might look like, and of course it came to mind the idea of your Optimus robot walking your resurrected dire wolf. Is that maybe maximum novelty? Anyway, as things get just more and more bizarre and strange and odd and all the things that we've been talking about for a very long time, it seems like science has not been sleeping on this, and at least in terms of, well, what we can accomplish in the moment. Now, if you saw the news, if you've been paying any amount of attention, you probably saw in the last couple days that they announced, this was on Monday actually, that they announced an actual de-extinction event. Yeah, and we've talked about that a lot in the past, de-extinction and sort of chimerism and how all this kind of comes together, not just, let's say, in the sense of the future, as we always talk about, and what tomorrow might bring, but of course, what it means for the past. And in this case, we're talking about the actual de-extinction of a dire wolf. Yeah, right? You know, the dire wolf, the one that's was an apex predator 12,000 years ago on, chomping on megafauna. Yeah, that dire wolf. Well, apparently, let's start with this one, okay? Well, no, let's start with the Time. This was actually broken by Time magazine. Okay, Time magazine was given an exclusive on this, and they actually got to go see these dire wolves themselves and take some pictures and see them in the fence and the Jurassic Park enclosure or whatever they're keeping them in. But they've named these two wolves, actually dire wolves. They've named them Romulus and Remus. Okay. Yes, that's right. The mythological brothers who founded Rome and were raised by a she-wolf. Yes, that Romulus and Remus. Interesting, right? It's a bizarre thing, but of course, just straight from the time.com article, all the links will be in the description if you're interested in this and want to read up and kind of fill in some of the blanks. But there's a lot to talk about here, not just, let's say, with regard to de-extinction itself, but these dire wolves in terms of bringing back like an alpha predator from the days of yore when there were mastodons, not mastodons. Was it mastodons when there were woolly mammoths roaming the world, or at least North America? It's weird, right? Anyway, Romulus and Remus are doing what puppies do. Chasing, tussling, nipping, nuzzling. But there's something very unpuppy-like about the snowy white 6-month-olds. Their size, for starters. At their young age, they already measure nearly 4 foot long, tip the scales at 80 pounds, and could grow to 6 feet and 150 pounds. Then there's their behavior. The angelic exuberance puppies exhibit in the presence of humans, trotting up for hugs, belly rubs, kisses, is completely absent. They keep their distance, retreating if a person approaches. Even one of the handlers who raised them from birth can get only so close before Romulus and Remus flinch and retreat. This isn't domestic canine behavior. This is wild lupine behavior. The pups are wolves. Not only that, they're dire wolves, which means they have cause to be lonely. Because, of course, there are no other dire wolves alive in the world today. Well, I take that back. There is another. What did Yoda say about Princess Leia? You're wrong. There is another. Just before Yoda died in Empire Strikes Back, he tried to tell Luke there was another. And he meant Leia, of course, another Skywalker. And anyway, I digress. But the other is actually named Khaleesi, and she's another direwolf pup. So the two Romulus and Remus are males, two brothers, again, aptly named. I think touche, nice work on naming the pups there. But then another one was born in January or late February that goes by the name Khaleesi, and this is a female pup. So anyway, we're looking at, a lot of things. This is the Jurassic Park come to life, basically. So as we start and get into this, there's a lot of ways to consider this. And you know me, I'm going to go weird because that's what I do. And think about not just, let's say, the things we've talked about in the past regarding de-extinction, but in the future, what this looks like and how you can start to maybe turn these switches, the genome switches on and off to create all manner of weird things, because that's basically what they've done with this. Okay. Now again, they did not DNA clone from ancient DNA a dire wolf. Okay, that's not what happened. All right, I just want to make sure we're clear on that. Everybody else, how have I reached my article limit? Come on, man. Okay, well, I'll get back to this in a sec. These damn things, they log you out and you can't do the things. Anyway, so they haven't done that. But what they have done is they've taken the closest actual ancestor, living actual animal, what was it though? I can't remember which wolf it is, but they took the closest actual ancestral wolf to the dire wolf, and they copied some DNA sequence, gene sequence markers they found from 12,000 years ago. And also, I think it was 70,000 years ago, something to that effect, like 2 different specimens, and then created, these hybrid wolves. They're not necessarily dire wolves as you would have expected from 12,000 years ago or so. They're not them exactly, but they sure as hell look like them. And it's a little bit creepy when you've seen the videos and whatnot. Like I said, if you haven't joined the Discord, now's a fantastic time. I put a video up in the Discord of what these puppies look like when they were born. Not first born, but a couple weeks old, and they were howling. They started like these little baby puppy howls. It was like one of the most adorable things ever, right? Exactly. Welcome Game of Thrones. Exactly right. And it's weird, right? Because one of the bizarre parts about this is that not only have we been talking de-extinction in a lot of ways, the thylacine, the Tasmanian tiger, the dodo bird, the carrier pigeon, some of these things that have been lost to history at this point, which is really brutal because a lot of it was brought on by humans and, et cetera, so on. It's a brutal thing, this de-extinction pit, because of course we're responsible through our mismanagement of the wildlife circuit for much of this misery in the animal kingdom. Well, but in that case, once you can start to bring these things back, and they've actually done some other work cloning the red fox. Now, a shortly to be extinct species if there's no intervention. There's very few of them left in the world. And so they also cloned several red foxes, which were born and are apparently healthy. And so, so the company's name is called Colossal. It's a biotech company named Colossal. Okay. So as we get rolling into this, I got a question for you. So first thing first, All the disclaimers apply. All the science is in these articles. If I misspeak or go weird and off the rails, it's what I do. Okay, so there's no truth to be found here. Only ideas, only possibilities, and that's that. If you want the science, go to the article. I'll try and explain it the best I understand it. And if anybody's really into this and knows quite a bit more about it than me, I'd love to hear from you. So there's all the disclaimers, okay? No truth to be found here. If you're looking for truth, you're in the wrong place. Second, what the hell does this mean? And how does it make you feel to realize at least an approximation of a dire wolf is alive? 3 of them in 2025. Weird, right? This is incredibly bizarre to me. And like I said, we've been talking about it for a long time. And also, why the hell do we jump straight to the dire wolf? It's weird, right? It's almost like jumping straight to the velociraptor. It's a little weird. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what's on my mind tonight. Lots of things in play, lots of things in motion, as they always are and always should be. Love to hear your thoughts on this. We'll be taking your calls a little bit later in the show. But if you, right now, we're going to take a quick break and get a word from our sponsor, in this case, Human Inspiration. Do not go anywhere. More Troubled Minds coming back in exactly 1 minute. Be right back. In a world increasingly shaped by AI, human inspiration remains the beating heart of creativity. Alien Skin by Tremble, a hauntingly beautiful piano ballad, reminds us that while algorithms can mimic art, the raw, unfiltered emotions of human experience are irreplaceable.
So here I sit, locked in my room again.
Written and composed by Jesse Ian in collaboration with Todd Smith, this progressive masterpiece delves into the depths of internalized grief and the silent toll of artistic compromise. As AI reshapes our reality, Alien Skin stands as a testament to the timeless power of human emotion and the complex beauty that only true artists can evoke. Experience the haunting beauty of Alien Skin by Tremble and support human inspiration. Available now on iTunes. And welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. Let us continue, shall we? Now, aside from all the actual larger weirdo style implications we're going to get into tonight, check the write-up out if you have not. It's very good. As usual, they're becoming better and better because my prompting is getting better. I'm working better with the new AI systems. It's becoming a better writer. It's writing more like my actual style that I've trained it for a very long time. So it's good. It's kind of like this superpower that keeps just getting better and better. And now I'm like, damn, I think I've trained it to write like me, and now it's a better writer than I am. It's a little strange. But anyway, it's very good. Check this out. I'll read some of this in a little bit because it is that good. But I'm calling it The Cult of the Wolf, When Beasts Return. And not just that, it's a strange thing to consider because they're not stopping with this. Of course, this is the big one. And if you remember, the first thing they announced, this was a couple of weeks back, they announced that it was like a woolly mammoth mouse. Remember that? Where they had they put like some kind of, I don't know, they turned on the genes in the mouse to make it furry, right? Remember all that? And that's cute and that's adorbs. And it's like, yeah, this is all right. You know, and this is what the future looks like. It's cute and it's adorbs. And then a few weeks later, they're like, oh yeah, also we've got dire wolves. It's like, what in the world is going on? It's so nuts, right? We went from little fuzzy mice to cloned or whatever, modified mice to dire wolves. Crazy, right? Anyway, so as I was going through this stuff and reading all of the things about it, and many people have had their takes. And of course, Jurassic Park is one of the things that comes to mind, Michael Crichton and his warning against playing God. And this is exactly that. And, I was joking with my sister about this. And she said, well, we know what happens in the end, Mike. And I was like, well, what? She's like, the people that made it obviously get eaten by the dire wolves. Like, yeah, you're probably right about that. And think about it. You can't just drop these things into like a modern ecosystem. You can't just be like, all right, well, we're going to repopulate dire wolves in the Rocky Mountains, Like, think about what would happen. Not only would they just start eating everybody's cattle or whatever, and, sort of all that type of stuff, as there's sometimes a big problem in different places in North America with regular wolves kind of doing that. But I mean, when you talk about dire wolves in the larger context, these things are huge. Like, we're talking 6 feet long, 150 pounds, full size is what they're expecting these things to be. And they have, they're not cuddly and fuzzy like dogs. They don't want to come over and be happy and cool and chill. They're spooked and don't like people. And it's like the primordial instinct is in them. And as far as we know, they haven't allowed them to hunt. Okay. So, but we don't know anything about what they've really done with these things yet. They're 6 months old, still really kind of puppies in the, canine world. And it's strange. This whole thing's incredible, right? But then what happens, think about this, and again, thought experiment on this. What happens if you do release these things into the wild? Or dare I say, because that would be largely and grotesquely irresponsible. Second, instead of that, let's say they escape into the wild. Because isn't that what comes next? Isn't that what happens with the velociraptors or T-Rex going into LA on the port or whatever, whatever the hell this is, right? Like, I don't know exactly how this is going to play out, except we've got some fiction. We've got some Michael Crichton kind of under our belt to recognize that maybe, just maybe, this is a bad idea. But of course, I want your take on it and how does it make you feel? Wild, wild, wild stuff. What else? There's a lot here. Should I just read? I'm just going to read part of the write-up here. I think it's important because it's good. We'll set the tone on this because the actual song is pretty good as well. All right, here we go. So check this out. Straight from the write-up. I encourage you to read it in full. Links in the description down below. Something is clawing its way back into the world. Not from myth, but from science. Colossal Biosciences, the company already working to resurrect the woolly mammoth, has now turned its gaze to the dire wolf. Not just any wolf, but Canis dirus, D-I-R-U-S, a species wrapped in the fog of both paleontology and cultural memory. With sharp teeth, exaggerated bone structures, and a presence that haunts both fossil records and folklore, the dire wolf is being dragged from extinction by the precision scalpels of synthetic biology. But as the bloodless resurrection begins, so too does something else. An echo, a rumble, something older than modern science can measure. At the same time, popular culture, long the safe house of ancient archetypes, has revived the dire wolf as well. The Game of Thrones franchise is returning to screens with its own lupine avatars of power, loyalty, and primal force. This timing isn't just a coincidence of headlines. It feels more like a signal. One side of human culture is pulling on scientific strings. The other is whispering to the unconscious. And both seem to be calling back something we may not fully understand. Like I said, read that in full if you're interested. Really good stuff there. It gets weird and wild. We'll get into those ideas tonight, but you get what's happening here. There's something deeper. And I was the more I was reading into this, the more my tinfoil was tingling because they did involve George R.R. Martin, the creator of Game of Thrones. He's an investor in this company. They also included Peter Jackson, of course, the creator of the Tolkien films, which is interesting because we did the Tolkien show on Sunday. So Tolkien was kind of back in the zeitgeist-esque via dire wolves, which we didn't know. And a couple things of note here that you may have seen a photo going around of these little adorable puppies. There it is right there on the actual Iron Throne, okay, of the prop from Game of Thrones. If you guys have watched that movie, it is fantastic. The series, it is fantastic. The books are very good too. It wobbled on book 3, but for the most part, it's really good. Anyway, this is a picture of these little puppies on the actual Iron Throne prop from Game of Thrones itself. Now, nobody knew where this actual throne was because it was an anonymous purchase at auction for like $1.4 million several years back. And nobody knew who it was, anonymous donor or anonymous buyer. Okay. However, the anonymous buyer turned out to be Peter Jackson, of course, the showrunner of the original Lord of the Rings and, many beyond that as well. But I thought this is so strange how this is all coming together, not just, let's say, in the zeitgeist of ideas, but also the fact that now we have actual literal, literal asterisk, dire wolves sleeping on the Iron Throne. We've got investors, not just which I saw this, he admitted himself, the Skinwalker Ranch guy, Brandon Fugel, he actually has been an investor in this for a long time. Peter Jackson, George R.R. Martin. It's strange. It's almost as if they reached out to, these individuals, almost as if, well, next maybe we'll make a Skinwalker, or maybe next it'll be, dire wolves and, dragons. I'm not so sure. You get my meaning though. There's a lot here that makes my tinfoil tingle because I don't know where this is headed. And they're telling us that they will be able to create a woolly mammoth and even return them in some capacity as a species here on Earth. Weird, right? All of this kind of shakes me up just a little bit. And I think everybody really felt it resonate through the zeitgeist because it was unexpected. And why again, one of the questions that's on my mind is why again the dire wolf? Because of course, like I said, if you have a fuzzy mouse that's kind of cute, and then suddenly your next announcement is a dire wolf, is it like the stepping stone to the mastodon and the original horse that was native to North America, the zebra, North American zebra, or trying to go through my knowledge of the North American megafauna of old. There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of really weird of the giant sloth. I don't know. And how many of these things would you eventually be able to bring back? The world's getting weird. Remember how I always talk about the quickening and talk about these ideas and how eventually, as Terence McKenna has said with that novelty theory, things will get so bizarre that even the most normal of normies, and Jay said this too when I talked to him on Project Unity there, he mentioned this as well, that's even the most normal of normies will be like, what the hell's going on? Like, you can't ignore it anymore. Things are just so strange that it makes you wonder what the next 5 or 10 years will look like. Not just with technology. Of course, this is a technological resurrection in this sense of these ancient super predators, really what they are. Apex predators from 12,000 years ago. But what comes next? And how strange does it get given, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And how does this make you feel? I think this is one of those ones. I do ask you guys a lot. How the things make you feel? How do we feel about this? But I think this one resonates very deeply in sort of that human emotive pattern, because it's so shocking to me, and probably to most of the zeitgeist out there that was like, damn, I didn't have this on my bingo card for 2025. Actual dire wolves, asterisk, because it's not exactly dire wolves, but mostly kind of dire wolves. Anyway, so how does this make you feel? Where does this look? What does it look like in 5 to 10 years? Do you want one? Anybody? And is anybody on the waiting list yet who wants a dire wolf? and what do you think this will look like when the full culmination of this happens and there are actual packs and they're breeding and they start doing real science on the behavioral activity of these things? It feels to me it's like a mirror, like an echo of what we believe these things to be, because we can't really know. As many people have stated in, if you've been reading up on this at all the last several days, a couple days even, it seems like it's been a week since this came out. But the people were citing the fact that they were an apex predator of a particular epoch, of a time that no longer exists, which is duh. But the problematic part of that is a lot of their prey also no longer exists at all. And a pack of these might take down bears for fun. You know what I'm saying? And if these things could eventually repopulate a particular area, just think in North America somewhere, imagine how they would decimate the local wildlife situation and what this might look like. And then, of course, once food gets scarce, and I'm saying without fences, or let's assume they escape, food gets scarce, because as it does when you have ravenous pack of wolves eating everything in sight, they start ranging further and further for more game, more food. And you see how this could get very, very bad. We're talking about bringing back the American, the aurochs and the bison and the extinct bison. I mean, this is weird, guys. And it's happening. It's right in front of our face. And you can see pictures of these things. You can see videos of these things. At least that's what they're telling us. How about this? Let's add another wrinkle to the questions. Do you believe them? Do you believe this is as they describe it? Or is it, as I said, dire wolf, asterisk? Because maybe that's the case. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Like I said, this one kind of kicks me in the gut a little bit because I'm not sure how to feel about this. It's exhilarating. It's incredibly exciting. However, it's also the opposite of those things. It's a little bit scary because we don't know what this looks like in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So what's your best guess? That's what's on my mind tonight. We'll get into some other weird stuff as we go because there's tons of it, but I didn't want to front load this because this is such a big moment in history. And let's talk about the basics, and then we'll get weird as we go. But love to hear your thoughts if you want to be part of the conversation. I put the phone line up. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, we'll shut it down. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. It's as easy as that. We got Joey, the gentleman, coming up. What's up, buddy? You're up first. And whoever else wants to pop in here. How does this make you feel? The return of the dire wolf in 2025. Weird, right? Be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up. Don't go anywhere.
In the shadows they rise, ancient whispers heard, echoes of the past in a howling blur. Dire wolves awaken from the graves of time. Something primal stirs in this age of decline. It's the call of the night. Can you hear them now? Feel their power surge as the moon bows down. Through the mist they come with eyes like fire. Legends of a clan born with dark desire. They roam our lands with an axe of unkind. Hunters of the lost in the darkness to find. It's the call of the night. Can you hear them now? Feel the power surge as the moon bows down. Awaken the spirits of the forest breath. In the wolf's embrace, life and death are met. It's the call of the night. Can you hear them now? Feel their power surge as the moon bows down. From the depths they howl, a thunderous sound. Rhythm of the earth, the pack gathers round. Bound by blood and faith, drifting on the breeze. It's the call of the night. Can you hear them now? Feel their power.
Yeah, that one will. I'm not sure it's a keeper, but it'll do. What's up? Hope you guys are well tonight. What's up, Hiker? We got Gordo's here over on Rumble. Ephemerance says, bring back those tiny chicken-sized dinos. Yeah, right, exactly. Why didn't we start with that? I don't know. Or even smaller things that can't eat people. Seems like we're always flirting with disaster, right? North Vixen, how you doing, Gordo? Hiker, what's going on? If I missed anybody, just say hey. I'll say hi back. What's up, Ephemerance? Gordo, Puff is here. What's happening, folks? Hello, YY. Hello. Good evening. On to, let's see, Discord. We got Erica's here. What's up, Michael W., Jeff and Wisco, Joey the Gentleman's coming up next. We got Chef, Apoc, Daryl, Matsal Sweets, Joe in Florida, Hirsch. We got Dawn, Jorge, and Sonia. What's up, folks? I hope you're doing well. Just hanging out. The song was Metal. All right, Metal's good. I'll take Metal. Who we missing? That's Dawn. We got Mr. Michigan Troll from YouTube. What's going on? Ioxy's here. What's happening, folks? Yeah, this is a weird one, right? And not only that, it's happening. This isn't just conceptual stuff. This is happening, and they have proof of this. Or, well, do you believe it? What's up? Sweets is here. Good evening. Shane, Blind Psychonaut. James is going to bed. We'll talk to you in bed. Unseen Steve McQueen. What's going on, folks? Here we go. Trouble Minds happening right about now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, DLive, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting, and of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, could extinct predators reshape the human mind? Could ancient genes still sleeping within us be reawakened, not by myth, but by code? If beasts return, rebuilt, revered, reimagined, will they bring with them echoes of consciousness older than our own? And of course, we're talking about the resurrection of the direwolf that has been happening for probably longer than a couple years here. And 6 months ago, 2 puppies were born, and a couple months ago, a third was born. So there are two male direwolves now alive in 2025, Romulus and Remus, 2 males, and a female puppy, very young, couple months old, by the name of Khaleesi, as seems appropriate, as we stated with the Game of Thrones chairs and the Iron Throne with the little actual direwolves asleep on it. Strange how all of this tends to come together, almost as if it's been concocted in some ritual manner. You catch my meaning? And I'm not so sure I believe in that stuff. But when things like this happen, it makes me wonder why I don't. What's next? A Kraken? Cyclops? WTF? Exactly right, Daryl. Love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. This is a weird one. Like I said, we don't have to get too deep and too weird because this is such a defining moment in the zeitgeist, I think, where things are going to change forever, and you can't put the genie back in the bottle. So how you feeling? Let's take a temperature check and talk about this together. Talk about the implications and what this looks like in the future. It's wild if you ask me. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. It is as easy as that. Let's go to Joey. What's up, brother? Joey the Gent on Discord. Welcome back to the joint. How you feeling, sir? And go right ahead.
What's going on, Mike? How you doing tonight, bro?
Pretty good. No complaints out of me. Just keep talking a little bit. I'll adjust your volume here, make sure everything's totally good. Welcome to the thing. Go right ahead.
Yeah, right on, man. Hey, look, I was listening. I was reading along with you, and it's so crazy because we were just talking about this a minute ago. Chef was talking with me about this direwolf thing, and I had a couple other people mention it earlier in the day. And I was thinking back on this, I'm glad you put it the way you put it, because I was thinking back on this one time. Like, I had a dog that I got by chance on a New Year's Eve night, and I was on this patio, and there was a staircase beside me to my right, and a brick wall down below, and it cast a shadow from the adjoining staircase going further down. And I look down, and I see this shadow. And, a shadow is bigger than, it really, the thing that it's being projected, the light's projecting around. So the shadow looked like a wolf. Man, it was huge. I was like, I froze for a moment. But then all this, these things start kicking in, and you get not tense if you're reactive, like if you know how to get that code and tap into it you're talking about. Like, I feel like that's in there, and I just felt ready to deal with a wolf all of a sudden, But then all of a sudden I saw it approaching, and I said, that's a effing wolf. And the other people that were having a party around me, they weren't paying attention to that. And then this collie comes around. There's this sweet little collie, and I was like, man, it ain't no effing wolf. This is a little lost dog, So sometimes things get blown out of proportion real quick in your mind, if you let them. But if you let the code kick in, or you know how to tap into it, I guess you can be as prepared as you need to be in the moment, and then decompress it just the same, because, like I said, it was just some poor little collie. But to be more poignant to the point, Jessica's Maximus just came in here a minute ago, and she started talking about it before we got on the show, when we were reading from your website, and she says this little blurb to me, and I said, I get you, because I don't know anything about it. I don't pay any attention to what's going on around the world, but I hear things. So she tells me what happened from the source that she heard it from or read it from, and I said, okay. So they pulled a Jurassic Park on him. I said, it's cool. So they took a frog and they messed with it a little bit. So it's not like they made a dire wolf, but that's a hell of a headline to sell. They probably make some money off the headline. So, but I am to the opinion that I've been thinking for years, how cool it would be to conduct society the way that we conduct it, with our nice little square box houses and our nice little square neat jobs and our cubicles, doing what we're doing, pushing pencils or typing things or moving agricultural crap around and making the world go. But on the way to work and to and from that, I might have to deal with a damn dinosaur or something. Like, how much more exciting would, like, because it's like I was saying about football the other week, like the hype is over, man. They got to start making miracles happen to keep people interested in this crap. And so I was thinking, it don't bother me that much, because look, man, that's just another damn thing to shoot at.
Yeah.
They let them dire wolves out here. I'm gonna tell you, brother, right now. I might have me a dire wolf on my wall.
Okay, all right. Everybody settle down.
Anyway,
let's not try and kill the things that are, just resurrected from 12,000 years in
They
freedom.
might have made it to kill us. We gotta be prepared for that. Is what I'm saying.
Look, well,
I'm just saying if they do it, and the things turn ravenous, Mike, I'm not concerned in the least because there's plenty of guns out there and plenty of people itching to shoot them. I'm not even one of them. I don't even own a gun, bro.
I'm just saying. Let's
I'm just saying too.
Let's give them a full year on this planet before we start dreaming about pinning one up on our wall. But
that's on the dire wolves how they act. They get out there and they act a fool. And look, do you know how much the government has messed with? So they put bugs out there because they put one animal in and they go, oh damn, that didn't work out. Hold on, but if I put this one in, it's like that episode of Rick and Morty where he just kept trying to fine tune stuff, and eventually he just had to find a new reality, because he's like, look, this is a wash. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they make chupacabras and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this is incredibly complicated. And here's one of the things that I was reading as I was reading several articles and kind of trying to learn about the technology. I still can't wrap my head around it, but there's some sources say that, no, come on, guys, this is not really a dire wolf. It's sort of gene expressions from its closest living, actual ancestor, this type of thing, right?
Gray wolf.
But what they've done is they've been able to make this thing bigger, make this thing, as close as we think based on the DNA, gene sequences we could get derived from the stuff we do have. So it is not a clone. It's not a clone, but it is close enough to where it does kind of bring that primordial sense back in us. Let me read this to you real fast. In one of the articles, this is a thing that caught my attention. I was like, what the hell? Are you serious about this? Colossal, the company here, which claims that it has now set the record for the most ever genetic edits in a living species, you think, says it plans to restore the dire wolf as a viable species and secure ecological preserves for it on indigenous land in North America. And once again, like, how the hell can this go wrong? They isn't this why they did Jurassic Park on an island? So this exact thing wouldn't happen. But they're just like, well, we could kind of repopulate them back into these areas, these protected areas, and everything's going to be just fine, right? How's that make you feel? What the hell?
Yeah, man, they take a lot of liberties with stuff like that get brushed under the rug. Like I said, sometimes things import themselves, but when you make things and then you release things and you've got some kind of objective, I mean, this at a certain point, Mike, like, this isn't a society we're running here anymore. This is a business and a science experiment at the same damn time.
That's very well said. And that's the future too. Like, as things get more and more weird, like I said, the ultimate novelty would have been, which is coming, a Optimus robot walking your dire wolf pet, while you're out fingering.
I know, I saw that picture earlier, right? Bro. I was laughing my head off.
That's what's coming. I mean, at least conceptually, we're there where this could be possible in 2025, which is incredibly wild to think about. Regarding any of the rest of this, like, it makes us feel weird again, sort of the hesitancy of, okay, so is this going to be a problem? Like you said, is it going to be a problem, or is this going to be, maybe we can manage this better? Maybe the Tasmanian tiger comes back, and the dodo bird, and like I said, the carrier pigeon, and some of these more modern extinctions start to come back, and things are like, wow, you know what? This can actually become a good thing. The red fox starts being repopulated. One of the problems too, it's like a bottleneck of one of the most let's say the woolly mammoth, the closest actual elephant that they would be able to match this with to sort of recreate the woolly mammoth, is also like only 80 population on the earth as well. So maybe they can save that with sort of this sort of technology. Who knows? Like, who knows what's coming next? And it could be a ton of good stuff. But also, when you're talking about sort of centaurs and satyrs running around the forest, I'm not so sure how good that really is, if you know what I'm saying. And of course, I'm taking some leaps here. But what else you got? Go right ahead, sir.
Man, it sounds like an awful lot of damn money spent when there's starving children out there.
That's a fact.
Just saying.
That's a fact.
Just saying. Why we were talking about this on my show just a minute ago, like that was brought up, like, why would they do this? I said, man, Jeff Goldblum already explained that. Like that's not the question anymore. Why would they? We already know why they would do it. Because they can. Because why not? No expense spared, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? To do what? Do I think it's going to fix any problems? Hell no. It'll create more problems because you got enough problems that you ain't fixing right now. This is just a way for you to ignore the problems that you should be fixing. Like, this is almost like a drug at this point. We got to have some more hype so we stop paying attention to the stuff that's really going wrong.
Yeah. Not only that, spare no expense, which is a funny thing because the fatal flaw of Jurassic Park, at least in the movies, I haven't read the book, but in the movie itself, spare no expense, but they hired one programmer and then underpaid him. like what is that? Like, that doesn't sound like spare no expense to me on the dinosaurs, but don't forget, but it's a people's world is my point. And he betrayed them and stole the things.
Mike,
yeah, go ahead.
Hold on, because you're taking that out of context because you're thinking that that's an above board business. That programmer, you need him to do some shady stuff. You cannot go to get that guy from the, above board places. You got to find the guy that flunked out somewhere because he's down for doing some shady stuff. And then what the only thing the old man messed up was that, he had underpaid him a little bit because he should have anticipated that somebody else would come in and pay him just a little bit more and get him to do something else, so he should have known what was up right away. The old man was sleeping.
Yeah, well, it seems like we're sleeping too as part of it. And as usual, the human hubris effect of playing God is going to bite us in the ass. And I don't know how, but I do know that eventually when you start mixing and matching and doing ridiculous things, and we're talking, I'm saying just conceptually centaurs and satyrs run around the forest, but imagine when this type of thing starts to become a reality and not just, let's say, extinct things walking the earth again, but commingling in habitats and whatnot, like, ecological habitats, but then also chimeras and all the rest of the nonsense and weirdness that goes along with it. It's not, this is not a good thought, or maybe it is. Like I said, maybe our mythology is coming back, and I'll get my Pegasus eventually, and maybe then I'll be happy.
Hey,
maybe then.
I'll give you one final thought from me on this piece. Well, if it's up to nature and they're out there and there's anything causing some kind of strife, I can tell you what, I might not be one of them, but I know some good old boys that'll take care of it if nature don't. They're down for looking for something else to plink at. That's all they live for out there. But besides that, if I live in a society where I got lions and the biggest creatures in the world sitting in a aquarium or a tank or a cage, and I don't care how pathetic if we got them to that point, man, I ain't worried about no damn wolf. Just another dog.
Fair enough. That's a big dog. That's a big dog. Absolutely. It is an apex predator.
Like I said before, if you're scared, get a dog.
Okay. Or get a pack of them. How about that?
The world might be getting scary.
We
need some bigger dog.
The world's always been scary. That's a fact. It's just, it seems to be accelerating, as I keep saying. Fire stuff. Appreciate the call very much, brother. Please check out Joey's show. He's on episode 3. They did it tonight just before our show. And join our Discord. Join his Discord as well. TroubledMinds.org. I don't think I have you on the list, but when I do, we'll get you on there and come join our Discord and find his and go hang out and talk about these wild things. Appreciate you, Joey. Thanks again for being you. And always a pleasure and always a fire take. You're the best.
My God, I appreciate you, bro.
Have a great night. I appreciate you. That's, like I said, it's a blessing to have so many smart friends and to be able to talk about these things. That is not water cooler talk. It is water coolest talk, as we've said. Yeah, I don't know. Dire wolves have just been brought back from extinction. Not some Game of Thrones fantasy as they put in the little photo shoot with the little dire wolf pup sleeping in the Iron Throne. Nope. It's real. This is real. The real Iron Throne prop with real asterisk dire wolves. I don't know. How does it make you feel? Let's talk about that before we get weird. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Shane, the Blind Psychonaut, welcome back, brother. Hope you're feeling better, and welcome to the joint. Go right ahead.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. You sound great.
Ooh, sounds good. But yeah, like you said, and I think even I was listening to Alex Jones earlier that they're saying it's not really a dire wolf, like you were saying, but still, I want to know why they thought it was appropriate to bring back or try to bring back an apex predator. Why not something more docile? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
It is a hell of a question, like I was saying. They started with that little fluffy mammoth mouse thing that was super cute. And then suddenly they're just like, hey, what's next? A dragon? Like a, Game of Thrones style dragon. I mean, you're right.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's problematic, at least. And it's irresponsible at worst. And I don't know. As usual, there's a lot in play here, and that's why we talk about these things, because it's impossible to keep all this straight because everything's accelerating, as I like to say. But go right ahead, Walsh. I'm trying to get that article up, but it's not letting me sign in. This freaking thing. Anyway, go ahead. Welcome to the joint. Welcome back.
Technology, right?
It's great when it works.
But yeah, right. But this actually reminds me of because I remember listening. I think it was 2015. It was like a little MTV thing where, believe it or not, it was Barbara Streisand was being interviewed about like one of her little, I don't know what kind of dog it was, but it was like one of the little yappy ones, but it died. And even back in 2015, she was talking about that she got her dog cloned, and 2 of them actually. And I was kind of looking it up, and they take like a skin cell of the dog, and they go to the skin cell nucleus, and the DNA in it, and somehow I didn't get too deep into it, but clone it. So it's really, not super new tech, but it is. It's getting more advanced, I guess, especially with CRISPR. I don't know if you heard of that, but I guess they're saying it's like $50,000 per like clone.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Funny you bring up the Barbara Streisand thing. I was talking about that at work a couple of days ago with some, yesterday on Monday. It feels like it's been a week since this news came out, but we were talking a little bit about that, the cloning dogs and whatnot. And I said, yeah, I've heard of that. Did you guys know that Barbara Streisand did that? And it's true. She did. It's on record. It's a thing. And she's cloned her dogs. And hey, by the way, Shane, not all little dogs are yappy, okay? My little dog is yappy, but not all little dogs are yappy. Anyway, I digress. Go ahead. But yeah, Barbara Streisand.
Most of the ones I've been around have been. I'm like, yo, shut up, bro. But I don't know. It's all good. But this also makes me think of, I think it was back in 2006, because you guys were talking about, Jurassic Park and dinosaurs, where a couple scientists, they took a chicken embryo and kind of was playing with dormant genes, and I don't know what it's called, but they basically unlocked the dormant gene to give it teeth. And they, from what I read, that they didn't let the embryo go to full term, but like in its beak, it developed like alligator type looking teeth. And then in 2015 or 16, they kind of went down the same road, but instead of it with the gene for it to have a beak, they manipulated it so it would actually have like a snout, I think I read it said it kind of reminded them of a velociraptor snout. Now I'm not sure if you heard of or read about that, but it's pretty wild what they're able to do even back 20 years ago. And I'm a big believer that even from my dad working not in but with the government as a contractor, that he's always said that the government / military industrial complex is at least 20 to 100 years ahead of the normal population. So if they're bringing cloning a dire wolf or little yappy dogs or whatever 20 years ago or now today, what behind closed doors, the question really is what are they really able to clone? Humans? Are they having vats of like humans, like being able to grow organs? Like I don't know, it kind of gets a little scary in that aspect.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I said, this quickening thing is not letting up. Where all this technology is accelerating, and you're right. I don't know what this looks like, and nobody knows what this looks like. So there's some people cooking stuff in labs that let them cook, as they say. But what's going to happen is when they start releasing things, it's going to shock the world, in my opinion. And what are you going to do with these habitats? Without creating basically a new Jurassic Park. And if you again, you're familiar with the Michael Crichton story arc or any of that stuff, clearly and obviously, the reason he was writing those things was a warning of the human hubris effect of playing God. And be careful, because nature has ways of surviving. And there's nothing you can do about it once it's reintroduced back to the world itself. And it's crazy. It's a crazy moment to be here. And again, like I said, I'm trying to pull this article up. I'll get to it in a second. But they're not legit direct dire wolves, but they're close approximations with gene edits. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. So the next layer of questions: do you want one, Shane, or are you going to pass on this round?
Well, personally, I'm more of a feline person. So let's go with, I don't know, like a saber-toothed tiger, maybe.
Okay, that's cool. So you're gonna wait. You're gonna wait to put your name on the list until the saber-toothed tiger has been cloned or reintroduced. So I'm with you. When I was reading about this too, I was like, hey, maximum novelty, not just the robot walking the wolf. How about we have like the old Roman arenas where we have packs of dire wolves fighting packs of saber-toothed tigers? Now we're cooking with gas, right? Let's get to work. Let's go. That's so stupid,
right?
That's so stupid to consider that, but maybe in 10 years it's a thing. It's so crazy.
Well, I mean, can you imagine if they're like, well, let's try to do, the giant sloth. And now all of a sudden we have a 15-foot ground sloth walking around. Like, I mean, it starts getting pretty wild. If they're able to do one, they're able to do whatever, really. That's what I think. I mean, I could be wrong. But once you open that door, crack that code, the floodgates open up, like you might get your Pegasus. Now, I think we already, well, I don't think, I mean, you can already see it that there are chimeras like out there already, like from nature. Now, are they natural, or was it a past civilization that already dabbled in this stuff, like the platypus? Like, really? Like, did nature really come up with a platypus? Like, that thing's wild.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's definitely a weird one when you're talking in the evolutionary aspect of things. How did that happen? Because that's incredibly weird. But hey, throw it out the window, because we're going to start doing other weird stuff like that. And the platypus at this point, my friend, is probably the least of our worries. Go back into, I think we need to become reacquainted with the megafauna of the last era, because I'm telling you what, there's some scary ones in there. There's some scary ones in there.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a 15-foot, 10,000, 15,000 pound sloth walking around, like I mean, what else? Like the short-faced bear is also monstrous. I mean, it gets wild. But this also makes me think of these a lot of these elites, or the people who are dabbling in this, is they're playing God, like which I don't think we're not supposed to do that. But yet we're in the era of the technology where we're capable of dabbling in that aspect. And even like in Jurassic Park, it totally goes wrong. Like once you start playing God, and we're not supposed to, we're not built that way, it just goes south. Now, I think there could be some good applications, but what does that look like if you start growing? Like, I remember when I was, I think, middle school, because remember like the old, the yearbooks where in the back they would have like, at least mine would have like, articles and pictures of like what went throughout the year. I'm not sure if yours ever had that, like throughout the country, but I remember there was a picture of a mouse with a human ear on it. Did you ever see that?
I've never seen that. What if reality is already emerging in our own mental zeitgeist? I'm not calling you nuts. I'm saying that if this stuff's real and they're going to recreate this, strap in, because it's going to get weird, dude.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, like, they were able to grow a human ear on the back of a mouse. I think that was, like, in the 90s. So, I mean, it does look like this is brand new, but I really don't think it's super new. But, again, with CRISPR, that just, was it last 20, when did it come out? They officially said it's rocking and rolling.
I think it was like late 80s is when it officially became a thing, or late 80s, early 90s.
Well, I mean, like, wasn't there a recent article, I think 2023, something like that? They're like, CRISPR's now, like, you can almost do designer babies.
Yeah. That's when they won the Nobel Prize for it, I believe, is the creators of CRISPR.
Okay, gotcha.
Which launched it in the zeitgeist, so now we have dire wolves. As you know, the music means we're out of time. You're the best, brother. Well, glad to have you back. Fire take, as always. You're the best. Have a great night.
All right, thank you, you too, and I'll enjoy the rest of the show.
You're the best. Be right back. That's Shane the Blind Psychonaut. I'll tell you all about it when we get back. More Troubled Minds on the way. Don't go anywhere. We got Eric coming up. We got MJ, Ash the Reptilian. Looks like Theo in your calls as well.
In a cryogenic slumber, lost in the lunar night, your face a faded number, among the stars so bright, dreams of forgotten echoes, waiting for time's command, curtains of gray and sorrow, the lonely lunar sand. Below the moonlit sky, of the love we try, silent by your ancient souls reside, suspended in a story, kept in the cold dark tide. Our futures in the making, in a silver-edged domain, hearts kept in silent aching, till we meet once again. Below the moonlit sky, of the love we try. Frozen time we're resting, waiting for dawn's embrace, whispers of love confessing in this forgotten place. Below the moonlit sky, of the love we try. With the morning glow, and the light will come to know. Below the moonlit sky, of the love we try, in the depths of lunar silence, our destinies intertwine. Memories kept so vibrant in the vacuum deeply mine. The tale of cosmic yearning across the astral sea, and the fires of hope still burning for when we finally breathe free.
Indeed. Feel like it's 1988 yet. What's going on, guys? We got Eric coming up, Astro Reptilian, MJ. We got, looks like Theo on the line. I'm going to try and fix the phone line, guys. So hang tight, Theo. We'll get it fixed when you're on there. I think there's a tweak I can make, but I need to talk to you. Hang tight. Appreciate you guys' patience. Yeah, this is a big one. It's a big one. And like I said, this is signals a change, not just in the zeitgeist. I think a change in the technological future of where we're headed. And we've been calling this for a long time. We've been talking about this on this show for a long time. What happens when something like this becomes a thing? And it became a thing. Welcome to the future. It's here. Who did I miss? If I missed you, just say hi in the chat. I'll say hi back. Trying to do my best to keep up with everybody. What's up, Trish? How you doing, sweets? Kelly, how you doing? Well, yeah, we've talked about this in the Discord a little bit. Joey the Gent, thanks for the call. Matt's all I see there. What's up, Sonia? Yeah, Sonia's saying no. If we get Minotaurs, I'm out. Exactly. Maybe. Like that's the maybe. Joe in Florida, what says Florida Dove will become Jurassic Crack Park with occasional meth. Maybe, right? Also, follow Shane the Blind Psychonaut, troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down. It's alphabetical. It says follow Shane here. Please check that out. He's doing great work over on his YouTube channel and creating very Troubled Minds-esque stuff, as you might expect, with the name The Blind Psychonaut. Lucid dreaming with the Blind Psychonaut. What's up? What's up? If I missed you, just say hi. I'll say hi back. Sorry, trying to eat in between here. So I'm not doing this on an empty stomach. Okay, here we go. Troubled Minds happening now. We got Eric coming up, MJ, Ash, and then Theo. Andrew calls us away. Here we go. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM Auckland, New Zealand. That's terrestrial radio. Shout out to our friends on the other side of the hemisphere. Yeah, that. Anyway, we're talking. I'm calling it the Cult of the Wolf tonight. When the beasts return. Because if you've been paying any amount of attention, we're being told de-extinction has finally happened. We've talked about it years ago on this show, but suddenly, yesterday, first thing Monday morning, Time Magazine released their piece on de-extinction and dire wolves. Like I said, there's a lot here, and there's a lot of things to say about this, a lot of ways to look at it, and a lot of ways to think about it. But this is a shock to the zeitgeist, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But this is one of those ones, as I like to call them, those temporal inflection points. This is sort of our modern, almost Jurassic Park moment. But what happens next when we're talking satyrs, centaurs? We're talking the likeness of Anubis in a living entity, right? You see what I'm saying? How close is that? I don't really know. But can you squint your eyes, squint with your mind's eye, and maybe see a future where that's possible? I think now, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, love to hear your thoughts on this instead of me rambling on. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. It's as easy as that. Thanks for being patient, friends. Let's go to Eric in Ohio. What's up, brother? How you doing tonight? Welcome to the thing, and go right ahead.
I am ill, but I am going to make it.
I'm glad you're going to make it. Sorry for the ill part. You sound great for being ill.
It's the second day.
Nice.
This, I guess I just wanted to say that this is not the first successful de-extinction, not even from this company. Like the dire wolf was the seventh successful thing. They made their, Colosso Biosciences made their fame on resurrecting the woolly mammoth prior to the dire wolf. And after that, they also they resurrected the Thaseline, which is like the Tasmanian tiger, and the dodo bird, the passenger pigeon, and they are also have done the aurochs, which are the giant oxes that are referenced in the Bible, and the heath hen. They have successfully done all of those. This is just the latest in what they're doing. And like you pointed out, it's more like alchemy or a gestalt, right? Because they are the two limiting factors and why they pick the things that they pick is one is funding. And basically, you know how that works. If somebody with a bunch of money decides they want to eat pterodactyl eggs for breakfast, then suddenly they'll be working on a pterodactyl. But aside from funding is the limitation of palindromic repeats in deoxide ribonucleic acid in DNA. There are these palindromic repeats. And if they can find something that has small ones, then they can use CRISPR, like the previous caller was discussing, CRISPR is clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats, which is what CRISPR is the acronym for. And palindromic is just like a palindrome, right? Like the word radar, something that's beginning and ends is kind of like capped, right? So if they can find DNA that has these caps, then they can successfully use CRISPR to manipulate the epigenetic expressions, and they can also use CRISPR to fill in other DNA from other species that are similar to this species. And in some cases, there are no other species that's similar to a species that someone may want to resurrect, right? Like that whole line has died out. But in other cases, that's not the case. So they can use something very similar, genetically speaking, along with CRISPR. And just like the previous caller was discussing, and earlier, CRISPR had been used to reactivate a recessive gene in a chicken, a reptilian gene that allowed it to have teeth, like he was describing. So that's what CRISPR's role in this is, aside from the idea that it can exponentially create these palindromic repeats. So if they can find something that has that enough genetic tissue in that sense that they can use, then that's viable. But not everything does, and there are little tricks for their gestalt and alchemy of using CRISPR and similar genetic species that are similar. Is just a trick, right? And if some of those elements aren't there, like the full short palindromic repeat, or if a species similar to the one you're trying to resurrect is not there, then you just can't do it, because these simply are not the real thing. They are an approximation. And if there's also been gene drives too, where, for instance, there's been at least 2 gene drives that I know of in the United States, where scientists have taken mosquitoes and made them inert in terms of being able to breed. And in both cases, eventually nature reasserted itself fairly quickly over these mosquitoes, and it just petered out and didn't work. So when something like this is going to be introduced back into an evolutionary cycle of the Earth, that 98% of the things that ever existed on the Earth are now in the fossil record, that's a grinder, and it's going to be hard for these things to survive with lack of megafauna and various other things. So it's unlikely to be able to survive outside of a sort of a controlled environment. When they're saying, oh yeah, we're going to release them in North America, I'd say that's probably the highest hopes out of the whole thing.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense to me, because like I was saying in the Discord yesterday as well, I'm like, how the hell would you feed these things? You would have to have, as you're describing, some sort of controlled feeding. Remember how they depicted that in the Jurassic Park movies? It was like a goat on a chain. But the actual predator instinct was like, I don't want a goat on a chain. I want to hunt. And so this is where sort of that nature finds a way business becomes a problem, because we're literally taking a predator instinct, caging it, and saying, oh, no expense spared, or whatever we were saying earlier, like the guy said in Jurassic Park. And I don't know, man, like this thing. And okay, so it's one thing to say, we've found the way to create the woolly mammoth. It's another thing entirely. It's like the Jurassic Park moment when they're like, here's one on camera now. And that's coming. That's coming. Like, who knows if that's 6 months, if that's 6 years, but that's coming, where it's going to be like, okay, now what? Satyrs, what do they say? Jokers to the left of me. What's the other one? Some to the right. Right? As satyrs to the left of me, centaurs to the right. Like this is going to be.
And this lycanthrope stuck in the middle.
Exactly, stuck in the middle with you. That's going to be the problem here. And I don't know. Like, does this? How about this? Does this concern you at all? Do you think this is a step too far, and where we're headed is on the wrong path? Or are you more like, let's step on the gas and see where this leads? I can see both ways of it.
Not really either. I mean, I agree with there's plenty of better places to spend money than this. I consider this to be like people just playing and messing around, right? Because they can. Like, there's no real reason to do it. It's not going to help anyone or the overall biosphere or anything like that. They're doing it just to see if they can do it, and based on who funds them. So it's like, I really don't think it can be sustained outside of its context of being funded by rich people and being in a lab. I think once the money goes away and dries up, or the interest goes away and dries up, you're not going to hear about this anymore because it's just not viable in any sense. Now, that doesn't preclude the idea that during this period of time something can't go terribly wrong and something can't be released into our ecosystem that is not good for it or whatever, but I don't worry about that too much either, just because, like I was saying earlier with gene drives, most of that stuff gets wiped out by evolution and nature as it stands now, which is pretty powerful, man. So, but you know, it is certainly a huge amount of hubris to be doing it, and especially for the reasons that they're doing it for, you know.
Yeah, it's like a vanity project. Like that. Let's play God as a vanity project. Like I said, there's no larger hubris than that, in my opinion, and that's again the problem of this, which is again echoed in Michael Crichton, Jurassic Park, and Ian Malcolm and the chaos theory guy. Look, I'm clearly more that guy than anybody else in Jurassic Park. I'm awed by the technology, but I'm also terrified because I can see the fractal of where this leads. And I think, like you just said there, maybe this is a bad thing. I mean, do we need dire wolves? I mean, I think we, right? of all things. I mean, could you think of something better?
Like, have I ever heard? Yeah, is there a reason why they're making dire wolves? Like, is it going to help someone somewhere or something, or? You know, well, maybe, you know, like Joe was saying, they could be hunted or something for food. But aside from that, I'm not sure what the point is. I mean, that's how things typically go extinct anyway. So I'm not sure what the point is. Yeah,
it's the ultimate. What is it when they a trophy? The trophy hunter? I don't know. Like they'll put them in the preserve, and then they'll send you in there with a gun, and then you get to drag your dire wolf out. Like, how grotesque is that? Like that's such a grotesquely human thing. That again, why? I mean, the cost of that is just absurd, and people are probably here for it. Sorry, go ahead.
But consider in ancient Rome, we were just talking about this earlier, that in ancient Rome around the time of Caesar Augustus, there were 3 large zoos that were constantly going on, that was constantly had animals in it. And these 3 zoos were just to feed the Colosseum. And to this day, there are more species of plant life inside of the Colosseum than anywhere else on the peninsula of Rome, because of all of the animals that they brought in that passed seeds through them, or that had them in their fur that took root there. So they had 3 zoos, and there was even a species of, I believe it was tiger or lion, I think, that went extinct in South America because of Romans capturing them and hauling them back to Rome into the zoos and stuff. And then, of course, other cities were trying to do the same thing. They didn't have 3 functioning zoos like that, but it was a huge demand, and they were causing things to go extinct even then, just for the hubris of the games.
Which is gross. I mean, look, I get people need to eat, and I look, I'm not a vegetarian, but for killing for the sake of the lulz to me is just one of those things where I'm like, aren't we a little better than this now, people? I don't know. I mean, it's always been something that kind of turned my stomach because because I can scale my thought and go, all right, what happens when the aliens arrive? And they're like, let's just plink people because it's fun. Like that's not the best look, is it? And now you're the one on the other side of the gun, and it's I don't know. I'm showing my my California upbringing there a little too bit. A little too much. I wasn't raised in the sticks, if you know what I mean. But I don't know. This is all incredibly complicated, and this is why this type of thing, like I said, it feels like a turning point in the zeitgeist. Do you feel that way, or do you think I'm exaggerating a little bit here?
No, I mean, it's certainly, obviously we've proven that we can do this, at least to whoever's funding its satisfaction, right? Like, because we've done it 7 times. And so the convergence for me is the now what? Obviously we've got CRISPR, obviously we've mapped out the genome, we're able to de-evolve, re-evolve, clone, gene drive, and, what are we going to do now? What's going to be the gestalt of all of this? Is there going to be any oversight? Is it going to be Dr. Moreau on his island somewhere with everybody doing their own experiments? I mean, after all, you can find on YouTube right now where people order CRISPR out of the mail in boxes and inject themselves to change their own genome. So it's not like it's regulated or anything. Some of this is too new to be regulated, especially in an international sense.
I'm going to buy my third-party cloned biohacking kit from China, and what could go wrong?
Well, you're going to pay more for it now.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's and don't even talk about the financial world. They're all turning upside down, and everybody's losing their minds that way too. I wonder. That's a whole other discussion for another time. We'll derail into that. But yeah, it's all this is complicated as hell, and I think it's important to point it out. And again, where do you think this leads in 5 to 10 years? You think they run out of funding, or you think that we have woolly mammoths stomping around again in North America?
No, man, they'll run out of funding. They're gonna put it all in AI and neural computers. They're gonna shoot toward transhumanism. That's what eventually all the money will be funneled into that, and they're gonna forget playing around with resurrecting mammoths and dodo birds.
Fair enough. I'll take the prediction, and we'll put it in our back pocket. We'll reconvene. Thank you very much. Thanks for the call. Get better soon, and God bless, good luck, and all the things in your endeavors there. And we'll talk to you soon. Glad to have you back, and I'm glad you're settled. And have a great night. You know what I mean? That's Eric. As Ash said in the chat, that's a smart MFer. Yes, he is. Absolutely. Go give him a follow. troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down a little bit. It says follow Eric here. Go check out his music. It's called Hammersmith Records, I believe, or Hammersmith Studio, or let me just click it. It'll tell you. Let's do it. Scroll down. It says follow Eric here right there in the thing. Visit the link, and you'll get his link tree. And there it is right there. Hammersmith Music. And there you go. Link tree will pop you over to his music channel. Please check that out. Go follow our friends. Go help them out. Follow them on all the places. Listen to the music that he's creating, and looking forward to talking to him in the future as well. And while you're down there, troubledminds.org/friends, follow Shane as well. The Blind Psychonaut. Scroll down. It's alphabetical. Follow Shane. Click that. You'll find his YouTube channel as well. Thanks for the great calls, guys, and thanks for being patient and caring about the ideas. What do you think about this? The dire wolf. How weird does it get? Yeah. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. We had Ash, but he had to dip, so he said he'll be back momentarily. So let's go to MJ in Virginia, and Theo, you're up next after that. So hang tight to the bottom of the hour approximately, and we'll get you on. MJ, what's up, my man? How you feeling tonight, and how does this direwolf stuff sit with you? Go right ahead, sir.
I think it's really good, and it's like a Noah's Ark 2.0. You know, what are they? Is it because they have two males and a female? They didn't say that they had the female with the males. The two males are together. Can they breed with her to get puppies, little pups out there? Or are they too closely related to do anything like that? You know, they've been doing this for a long time. It started with, I'm going to go back to the aliens and all their DNA stuff, and then Dulcie Montauk and up in Connecticut and all these other things going on. It's just trickled out into mainstream now. If Barbara Streisand's getting her dogs cloned, you know, so you can have the same dog over and over and over again, what happens when you clone a pet? Does it retain the memories of its former life, or is it brand new all over again? How much do they retain of that? Because that part of that memory is in your DNA. It's just sort of built into it to a certain extent, at least for the animal instincts. But are they also carrying over memories of the owner?
Yeah, there's a ton here. I don't know, and I think as we start to really create the like I said, the satyrs and the fawns and the centaurs of old, I'm not sure any of those questions even matter anymore. Right? You see what I'm saying? We're going to get weirder and weirder and weirder. At least, given enough money pumped into this, that I don't know. Like I said, maybe I will get my Pegasus, as I keep joking. Forget the flying cars. Let's just skip straight to the Pegasus, and well, maybe that's where we're headed. It's wild, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you think about it all. So this has been around for a long time, and people with trillions of dollars, these multi-billionaires, trillions, they can walk in and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you $500 million to grow me. I want a new me. and that person's, it grows to a certain age or getting ready to die, can they transfer the consciousness into a human body now instead of a robot? These things are coming. Someone's going to attempt it somewhere along the line. So for me, this is basics of what's coming up in the future, and we're not going to know. Let's say the blue whale's going extinct. They could just grow more and have them out there and just put them out there. You're not going to know, and it's going to behave, just the memory wise, or just the instincts and the blue whale itself to survive or whatever they've got to do will be in there, and then it will go, and it's gonna feed like it normally does, because they can create it, the blue whale, as it is now. It won't be from 100,000 years ago. It'll be from now. So the instincts will be there in the babies.
Yeah, well, you can't. Again, we're not actually dealing with that extinction process just yet. It's gene switches and stuff. So it's kind of like smoke and mirrors a little bit. But imagine one day where maybe we can do that and find, as they said in Jurassic Park, one little bit of DNA from the mosquito that was covered in amber and all the rest of that stuff, and we're able to actually completely replicate and maybe build from scratch. Like this would be the next step of that. And I still don't think we're there yet. But like you just said very smartly, we won't know until they're like, well, here's your brontosaurus. And we're like, oh, I guess we're there. I guess maybe we are there. It's creepy, man. It's creepy.
Tyrannosaurus coming across the field to eat a cow.
Exactly. Or the whole group of cows. What's the flock? What's a bunch of cows called? I don't even know.
Herd.
That, yes.
A herd of cows, yeah. So, I mean, that's how I look at it. But this has been on for, since the 1940s, 30s, 20s? It starts with as far as I'm concerned, starts with the extraterrestrials, the military, but it's like our cell phones. I'm talking on a miniature computer. Way back when we had a cell phone, didn't do a whole lot, but before that, the technology was being by the Army, Navy, they had all this stuff going on, and it trickles down into the general public. These guys announcing these dire wolves, it's now very much into the general public. Look what we did. And they said they're not going to sell out to very rich people who want, exotic animals to be grown. Like I think Eric said, there whatever was going on with it, there may be places where they just can't do it because they just don't have the right ingredients. They can maybe cross-reference some stuff, but then are you gonna, what are you gonna get? Like in Jurassic Park, they had that one. It was the next to the last movie where they had a velociraptor breeding into something else that just became just killed. It didn't even eat it, just killed. Are you going to end up with something like that?
Yeah, I actually just saw that like hybrid dinosaur they made. That it was not, it'll just kill when it's not hungry. Yeah, but whatever. I can't remember they had a name for it, but and I think this is where we head, right? Because once again, why a dire wolf? Other than it's a marketing value to draw investors to continue the process, as Eric was saying as well. I think this, you make the most shocking thing and the most shocking claim, and then suddenly people are like, hell yeah, I want to invest in that. It's smart marketing. But again, we're sort of, toes in the ocean of playing God, and it's probably not the best idea. And so here we are, like we live in it now. And how weird does it get? What's your prediction on that in the next, let's say 5, 10, 20 years? Do you think we get, hybrids and all kinds of other chimeras and weird stuff, or does this peter out?
I think there's going to be a general, like the rich people will go there and it'll become a thing for them. I think that's going to keep going. We're not going to know about it because I don't have that kind of money. But I think on the high end, the high financial end, these in Dubai, they're going to want maybe some lizard that was, like a dragon. It was like 10, 50, 100,000 years ago, 250,000. The dinosaurs were on before that. It was just a huge, lizard kind of thing, or a Tyrannosaurus. Who knows? Maybe they're going to use them as bioweapons. The military being on it. I don't know if they're interested or not. They had super soldiers. They were doing the same thing to humans. To enhance whatever they had. If they start mixing this stuff around, you don't know what you're going to get. And if it gets loose, I think the dire wolves are out on 2,000 acres is what they're keeping them on. Who's paying for the 2,000 acres, first off? Secondly, they're still feeding the animals raw meat. horse, cow, whatever they can, I guess, put in there, but they're not having to hunt for it. And that's the problem. If the instinct has to kick in, it's like they're getting hungry. They have to learn how to hunt. But there's also a certain amount of respect and honor when you have to hunt for your food. They're not having to hunt, so they don't have that responsibility. So to me, that's the danger point. They can get, let's say they feed, and then they just start killing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, and especially in captivity, right? We can basically say this is what we know of from this new species. Basically, what this is, the direwolf asterisk, as I've been saying, in captivity. But we have no idea what they would be like in the wild. Wouldn't that be fascinating to see? And you know where that leads, and I know where that leads, and it's an ugly place. You're the best, brother. Appreciate you being patient. Thanks for staying up with us, and Fire Take as always. You're the best.
All right, see you later, Mike.
Have a great night. MJ in Virginia, you know me, love him, been a good friend for a long time. Always a great take on this stuff, and forward thinking. Where does this lead? You tell me. Love to hear your thoughts. We got Theo coming up, maybe Ash coming back, and if you guys have more to add, you can jump back in here. Be right back, more Troubled Minds on the way. Don't go anywhere.
Crazy colors swirling, got the laughter in the air. Jesters in the night, they weave magic everywhere. Clowns are juggling dreams, wild world is in despair. Nothing's quite as certain when reality's a game. Chaos in the corner, whispers calling out your name. Look around, it's laughter, even when we're feeling pain. You know they want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist. Dancing shadows flicker under neon all aglow, while the stage is set for tales that nobody will know. Echoes of the laughter as the lost ones see the show. Life's a playful circus where the chaos takes a bow. Joy and sorrow blending in the rhythm that we vow. Join the ride of madness, it's the only way for love. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist. Twists and turns and shadows, laughter in the night. A tapestry of madness, dancing with the light. Fools and fun were woven, chaos in our stride. Embrace the wild, let the laughter be our guide. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist. Falling in the rhythms, beats that pound and thrum. A flashing carnival where the misfits come undone. Whirling through the madness with our hearts set to ignite. In the symphony of chaos will remain the shining light. Yet nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody want me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist.
Indeed. Strange nights I insist. What's up, Kelly, Erica? Thanks for the call. Great stuff. Jeff and Wisco. What's up, Sweets? Matt's L, Dawn, Hirsch. We got Michael W, APOC, Daryl, Sonia. A great call from MJ as well. You guys are the best. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. This is a weird one. Obviously, as we like to do weird ones here, but it's weird kind of comes home, right? It's a strange thing. What's up, Jason Barker? We got Hemcarp. I see you guys. What's up, Gordo? Ephemerance, Lightning on Fire in the chat. Appreciate the great chat here. Pinned, thank you for ever pin that over on Rumble. I want to splice the DNA of a T-Rex and a conspiracy theorist and release them in DC to feast. In Minecraft. What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well tonight. If I missed you, just say hi. I'll say hi back, trying to keep up with everybody. Sonia there. What's up, Dimension? Welcome to the joint, or welcome back. I'm not sure. Back asks words, Weird World. How you doing? Good evening. Yeah, things are getting weirder and weirder, aren't they? What's up, Commercial Herschel? Says dire wolves can be 3.5 tall on all fours. Yep. And 6 feet long and 150 pounds. Anyway, here we go. Trouble Minds happening right now. We got Theo and your calls as well. Here we go. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM Auckland, New Zealand on the Underground Media Network. Tonight, we're talking, these dire wolves. You've been watching the news? Yesterday morning, Time Magazine released a piece about, de-extinction. Not just de-extinction, a dire wolf of all things, an apex predator from 12,000 to 70,000 years ago. At least that's the span. We got, again, DNA sequences from a tooth and a jawbone, I think, from and they're almost 50,000 years apart. It's so crazy, even greater than that. So we're sort of taking these identities, plucking them out of the ether, picking and choosing what we deem best to make the most sense, and then creating basically these hybrid creatures. These are not, right? This is not, I wonder, here's a thought experiment as part of this. Do you think that if you could time travel and take one of these back and put them in a pack of actual dire wolves, if they would accept it as their own, or they would eat it right? as an enemy? I don't know. I don't really know, and that's why these types of conceptual thought frameworks are very good, because if you hadn't thought of that yet, now you just have. And that's the point. I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. How does it make you feel with this de-extinction of the dire wolf, and why the dire wolf? Clearly it reeks of marketing, because we could have done a bunch of little, nice fuzzy critters that wouldn't have been so kind of terrifying or stoking at the heart of this conspiracy, as I'm calling it tonight, the cult of the wolf. But the beast has returned, and multiple of them, 2 males, a female, and more probably on the way. And what happens, as MJ very smartly said, what happens when they can breed with each other? This is very Jurassic Park-like, is it not? I don't know. You tell me. Pretty weird stuff. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Theo, are you there? Can you hear me? Welcome to the joint. Test 1, 2.
Oh, Mike, can you hear me? Test 1, 2.
Yes, you're coming through.
How's my audio?
You're coming through loud and clear in all the places you should be. Shout out to the Discord. Can you guys hear him on the Discord? Please let me know. If not, pop over to the stream. I think we should be good, but I'm crossing my fingers. Yeah, okay. I got a yes. We hear you on the Discord. Right on. We're fixed. Welcome back to the joint. Phone line does work. Thanks for testing that, and thanks for being patient. What's your take here? There's a lot going on, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't know. Like a lot of great callers, like MJ and Eric, always knowledgeable, just great callers before me. But yeah, when it comes down to it, I hope you don't mind if I tell a little bit of a personal story. I promise it'll wind back towards the content at hand, if it were.
Perfect. That's the way we do it. We meander together, and as long as it aims back a little bit, we're good to go. Love to hear it. Go ahead.
Yeah, but so I just got back to Philadelphia earlier today. I was staying with my mom for a week. My mom, she's older, as somebody of my age's mother would be, where, she's not exactly in the perfect health, but, all of her health gets a little bit worse, where she just is suffering from a little bit of gout and some minor cancer, not the serious skin cancer. She's just got a carcinoma on her nose where she needs radiation therapy, but carcinomas on the nose, or general skin cancers aren't that serious for 95% of people. If you have an actual melanoma, that's really serious. But a lot of people just spend too much time out in the sun are bound to get a carcinoma. Regardless, she's just old, and she's kind of needs help every once in a while. and she lives in South Jersey. Have you ever been to South Jersey, Mike?
I've not actually. I haven't even driven through South Jersey. Maybe I should.
It's an interesting place, you know, like especially the South Jersey down by the shore. She lives like kind of close to the Delaware Bay. But regardless, I just like spent the past week kind of playing hero ball, where just I was like opening jars. I just like, you know, changed light bulbs. I went underneath the crawl space for her to like turn on the valves for her outdoor shower, and just like, you know, general stuff that like, you know, she just needs the sun to do. But regardless, she lives like right next to the beach of the Delaware Bay. So like, you know, I can like walk like 3 minutes and then I am down to the beach of the Delaware Bay. And it's right around this time of year that there are these creatures called horseshoe crabs, which are the most disgusting kind of Lovecraftian creatures you could ever imagine that start to come onto the shore en masse. And they are just like the weirdest looking things you could ever imagine. So they're kind of armored. I don't know if you could possibly pull one up. I took a picture for some people on the Rumble chat like 2 nights ago or so. But like they're armor plated on top, but if you flip one over, they look exactly like an alien face hugger. And they have been the same for probably about like 650 million years. Like they have not really evolved because their evolution is just so succinct and so kind of perfect. They don't need to really change it all because whatever they're doing, it just works for them. And, you know, like, yeah, that's exactly them. And if you look on the underside is just like absolutely terrifying, you know. And actually, like, you know, God bless my mother. My mother is a saint. Like, this is the time of year when they start spawning, but they typically like start the peak of their spawn a little bit like more towards like late May, early June. And they just absolutely invade the beach, and sometimes they get stuck upside down, and my mom will actually like go around, and despite the fact that she is actually disgusted by them, will like flip over the ones who get stuck on their back just to like let them go back and like have a chance at it. But yeah, so it's just like one of those things where, you know, like I think people like focus a lot on these big fuzzy, nice creatures like dire wolves, but like at the end of the day, a dire wolf is just like another big puppy dog. But these undersea creatures that are just disgusting and kind of slimy and spend their entire time in these weird depths that nobody cares about, I kind of think that they might have more interesting stories to tell, you know, like. Because who needs like another big fluffy dog when like I want to hear the story that the horseshoe crabs have to tell, you know? Spending that much time, like, you know, where they just look at the bottom of the sea and just spend their time just in kind of drudgery like the rest of us, shuffling through mud only to find their way to a Delaware, New Jersey beach. Like that's an existence that I can actually empathize with, you know, as opposed to the romantic, like, existence of the dire wolf who, like, you know, was one of, like, the last Ice Age great hunters or something like that. So, I don't know. That's just my take on the topic at hand.
Well said. And I do like how you brought it all back. And even though your mom's disgusted with them, she's still flipping them over to give them another chance, which is, again, metaphorically what we're doing here. And wondering, and, you know, this is Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park saying, you know, they went extinct for a reason. And other people have said this recently, too, and not just in the Discord, but in, you know, normal discourse. Well, they had their shot. And so why are we giving them this chance again? I don't know. It is a human thing, sort of that, you know, careful what you ask for sort of thing. The, you know, don't look in the box, you know, and we're like, what's in the box? What's in the box? The curiosity kills the cat. But in this case, it's the dire wolf that kills the cat and then eats the human too. It's crazy. Does it creep you out that they've actually kind of done these things and there's more coming? Will it be more, let's say, guttural in the sense of, let's say, seeing a woolly mammoth in real life for the first time, like actually being able to look at one with your own eyes? Would that creep you out? Like, where do you sit with this?
Oh, so yeah, to be honest, not really at all. My opinion is that I highly suspect that, certain countries, probably China, are actively engaging in human genetic engineering. And I would actually be very surprised if the U.S. wasn't engaging in some sort of human genetic engineering as well. I just think that's a fact. Like, I don't know. You are certainly old enough to remember Dolly the sheep. Do you remember that?
Yeah, definitely. I talk about Dolly the sheep every time we do a show like this. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just like, you remember how much of that was like a big deal for about I don't know, 15 minutes of the mainstream media, like, oh my God, they just cloned a sheep. When are they going to be able to do it to humans? And then all of a sudden, everyone kind of like quieted down about that. Like, nobody ever talked about it again, It was a massive deal for about 15 minutes. It's like, oh my God, they cloned a sheep. Will this be able to happen to humans? And then nobody ever talked about it again for the next 25 years. And to me, that just kind of signals yeah, they've probably been doing it on one side or the other. So it's just because it was such a big news story and such a big ethical crisis until everyone stopped talking about it, and it never got brought up again. I mean, am I the only one who noticed that? Or
No. I point it out all the time. And the elephant in the room here is not the woolly mammoth. It is the humanzee, as I've been saying. Every time we bring up a show like this, I'm like, where is the human chimp hybrid? We haven't seen it. There is no Planet of the Apes. However, not just us, China, everybody with a massive budget is probably working on this because in some capacity, right, you got to weaponize every damn thing in the modern world. And wouldn't they be the ultimate soldiers if they were smart and strong and followed orders and did all the things you would expect? Where the hell are the humanzees? And I know there's been some things to suggest that they tried it once or twice and it was the ethical stuff was just too icky. And we were like, no, we're never doing that again publicly. And so I'm with you. I think this has been a thing for a long time. And where the hell are they? And when do we, if we're going to release the dire wolves, let's just get our Planet of the Apes out of the way while we're at it, huh? Can I have the peas and the carrots at the same time? Let's go. That's so crazy.
Yeah, no, exactly. I don't claim to have any specific knowledge of anything, but I just think it would be kind of, I don't know, just absurdly benevolent viewing of world governments to assume that they're not doing it.
You've been paying attention.
It just seems somebody's got to be doing it, it doesn't seem that hard. The genetics have been proven for the past 20 years. So, somebody's got to be doing it, but yeah.
Amen. Well said. You got a poem for us tonight?
No, none that I could read on air, but thanks for having me. I definitely appreciate that.
Thanks for testing the phone line and being as great as you are. You were amazing. And, always a pleasure. We'll talk to you soon, and you have a fantastic night. And keep flipping those crabs over with your mom. Keep giving them a second chance, because all of us need a second chance, don't we?
Dude, those are the best creatures of everything. But yeah. All right. Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you later.
Take care. You're the best. You know him, you love him. Theo, the official poet of Troubled Minds. He'll bring a poem next time or the time after. It's not a requirement. It's just something he did for a long time and he's still doing. And that's how do you become the official something of Troubled Minds? You call me and you do something. And then that's it. And you be cool and chill and wonder about these ideas in, again, a non-linear, open-ended way and wonder what comes next or what came before that we missed. See what I did there? It's nuts. I don't know. It's one of those things, like I said, when you start to look at the evolutionary aspect of how deep we are into from the Cretaceous and from the how far does it go? I can't even conceptualize in my mind or bring them to the forefront to even tell you what these old things were, the Cambrian period and all this stuff. It's nuts. It is insane. And that horseshoe crab, as he's saying, is It looks very Cretaceous, as YY said over on Rumble. This looks like something out of time itself. It's nuts. And yeah, you can't even eat them, as somebody said. Like I said, I'm a West Coast guy. We didn't have these things on the West Coast, thank God, because I probably would have never done Troubled Minds if we did. I would have been too scared. But this is, yeah. I mean, that looks the horseshoe crab looks very, well, creepy. Anyway, what do you know? We're talking, they cloned a dire wolf, not cloned it, created them. Yeah, CRISPR, editing, gene sequencing, all the stuff. How does it make you feel? Is this a temporal inflection point, or is it hyperbole to suggest that? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Jay Winch coming up next. What's up? Mr. Mission Control says you can throw the mic like a Frisbee. Well, that's creepy. I mean, not creepy at all. That's not creepy at all. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like I said, West Coast kid, didn't grow up with those horseshoe crabs. Thank goodness. MJ in Arkansas. What's up, brother? You're on Troubled Minds. How are you? Missouri. MJ, Missouri.
Yeah.
Jay Winch.
Missouri.
Jay Winch in Missouri.
Texas, Michigan.
Go ahead, sir.
We're good.
My mind's a disaster. Go ahead.
The subject is a great subject, but there's a difference between cloning and creating a hybrid. Cloning, Dolly the sheep. Cloning, Dolly sheep. Okay, you're just cloning another sheep. You're not mixing the DNA of it, the natural source of the original. Sort of like when people clone plants, whether they're growing a tomato, like, oh, hey, let me take all these little feeder leaves that do nothing but suck the life out of the tomato plant and create more tomato plants. That's cloning. Versus creating a new species that went so well. I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on here just because, some of the channel or some of the places you broadcast to, but worked out well with that African honeybee, didn't it?
Did it?
They took two bees that were very docile and calm and wouldn't mess with you and created one heck of a bee. It produces all kinds of honey, but that mofo would chase you down for miles, and not by itself. They will bring the entire pack and go after you.
Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that about that bee, but I didn't know it was a hybrid of sorts. That's wild.
Yeah, it was an African honeybee and a European honeybee. They crossbred it and created the killer bee. And that worked out well with when they tried to create a mosquito to, it was only supposed to be, I think, a male, and it would go out and hunt female mosquitoes, and it wasn't supposed to be able to breed. And then, again, tinfoil hat, shortly after we had the Zika virus instead of having to deal with the yellow fever. Weird. Crossing breeds doesn't really work all that well. And that's my worry of bringing back these things that are gone and crossbreeding it like they did in Jurassic Park. Like, nature will take its course. Dire wolves were extremely smart. Dire wolves, back from the stories, used to hunt humans. And that's back when humans used to run around and hunt things for a living. Now humans are like, what color shoes should I wear? Is my hair right? And that's going to work really well when you got a pack of wolves that are bigger than any wolf that's out there trying to hunt you. That's not a good thing at all. Like,
so I'm guessing you think this is a bad idea.
Oh, it's a horrible idea. Horrible. Like, I mean, think about it though. Like, people are like, oh, wolves, they're docile. You're seeing wolf hybrids that were raised in a family, but even they turn on people. Or when you're like talking about the chimp-human thing, people have owned little chimpanzees. They only get like 4.5 foot, about 4.5, at most 5 foot tall. And if they get upset, they'll rip your arm out of your, rip your arm off.
Without even.
They're like 4.5 foot tall and they'll rip your arm off.
Without even really trying.
Not a good.
Yeah, and this is what we're building, except the dog version of that same thing. Yeah, you're right. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Who was it? I think it was Einstein said it best. At some point, humanity is going to kill itself by using technology because they're going to be so reliant on technology and trying to create things that they shouldn't, that the things that they create will destroy them. And that goes into, I don't know, maybe Terminator, AI. Like, why are we creating robots that can think and do things? And what if they get upset? I don't know. It's just my two thoughts. I know we only got a little bit more before commercial break. So if you have any questions for me, fire away. And then I know you got somebody to probably come in after the break.
You are a pro, an old pro, been with us for a long time, great friend, and always a great take here. Regarding, let's say, the next 5, 10, 15 years, the question I've been asking everybody tonight, what do you think this looks like? Are we going to get more and more hybrids to the point where, like I was making the joke with Eric there, you know, satyrs to the left of me, centaurs to the right. Here I am stuck in the middle with you. Is that where we're at? Is this really going to be something that we're going to have to worry about, you know, the dog-headed ancient Egyptian god Anubis walking anew amongst us?
Well, actually, I mean, the hush programs that we never hear about, like, you know, tinfoil hat again. Well, what if they were taking DNA from, I don't know, they found the tomb of Gilgamesh. He was over 9 foot tall. What if they took the DNA of him? Or they took DNA from the pharaohs, or they took DNA from prehistoric man, or something like that. Like, okay, that's not a good thing. Especially, like, with animals, it makes it worse, though, because animals in their DNA remember things, i.e. the monarch moth. They travel for thousands of miles, but it takes 6 to 7 generations. How do they know how to travel from point A to point B and back to point A 7 generations later? Well, it's in the animal DNA. They remember it. That's not a good thing when you start messing with animals that were pre-modern, as we'll call it, pre-modern civilization. Like, in my opinion, no. Stop it now, and make it like a high crime. What I mean by a high crime, like, every nation in the world should stop it. But you have people that are like, oh, well, that'd be cute to have a dire wolf. That'd be cute to see a woolly mammoth. Oh, it'd be cute to see a little velociraptor. Oh, crap, it just ate me. Like, I get where people want to see things like that, but just read about it. Like, just read about it, man. Like, we don't need those things back here. They were like apex predators beyond the apex predators we have now. We don't need that in our world because we're not that type of civilization anymore.
Yeah. And the interesting part, if you guys read it in the articles, links are in the description down below. These are not, they're not like cuddly puppies. They're scared of people. And even the people that they, you know, born around, they're still kind of jittery and like, this is not your 2025 dog. This is not that 10,000 years of sort of taking the wolf at the campfire, you know, as the theory goes. This is primordial. And at least instinctually, from what we can tell in the limited reporting. But I mean, imagine doing this at scale. Once again, like I said, if you can think at scale, this gets terrifying. And I agree with you. Should we be doing this? I would say probably not. I would say there's a lot of starving kids out there, as we were saying earlier. More practical things. If you're going to get billionaires investing in things like this, sure, maybe. But let's get abundance first, and then worry about bringing back the woolly mammoth. Because what are we going to do? Eat them? We're going to bring them back, and then what are we going to do? Eat them? Stop. That's just stupid.
But also, like, they found the woolly mammoth. Oh yeah, well, it had lettuce in its body. Okay, well, they found them frozen with leaves and stuff in their body. Okay, well, what if they were actually carnivores and they were just running to get away from the flash freeze, and they were just eating greenery to get by? Like chickens, they eat greenery, but actually chickens prefer meat. What if the woolly mammoth prefers meat? What if another cute little cuddly thing that we thought were, you know, leaf eaters actually preferred meat? Deer actually eat meat. People don't realize that. Like deer will eat squirrels, raccoons. They'll eat any kind of meat they want because that's what they do.
Or maybe we sort of extrapolate the idea of the modern elephant, the kind of the docile plains thing, and maybe it's different. Maybe they're super temperamental, and they're just like they'll kill you if you get too close and just keep on munching the grass or whatever. I mean, it's crazy, man. We're just about out of time. Final thought.
Elephants do that too.
Final thought. Go ahead.
Elephants do that too. They're very, very territorial. Like elephants are territorial. Hippos, they're vegans, but mess around and get close to them. That'd be one of those FAFOs, like, oops, I shouldn't have got so close to what I thought was a cuddly creature.
I was about to say the same thing. The old FAFO
ended my life.
And the natural world is the ultimate.
Thanks for taking my call, and I'll be listening.
You're the best. Appreciate you very much. Jay Winch in Missouri. Now that I got that right, too many things flowing through my head to get it right. Great stuff as always. We're talking this de-extinction. We got Kelly and Ash raise his hand away his back, and I'm going to just pop both of these guys on when we come back. Kelly and Ash, and let you guys take it away for a segment. Hang tight, Eric. We'll get to you as well. Be right back. More Troubled Minds on the way. What do you know about the cult of the wolf? When beasts return, I'm calling this. We're talking de-extinction, the dire wolf. And should we or should we not? Be right back. More Troubled Minds on the way. Don't go anywhere.
In the shadows of the networks do they hide? Whispered legends unseen they reside. Ghosts in the machine, they move so fast. Guardians of rumors from the forgotten past. In the circuits where the secret lies, they breathe in one speak in disguise. Machine, you're free. Ghost in the machine. Let me be. Ghost in the machine. Can't see, but you're teaching me what it means to be. Surveillance eyes can't pierce the veil they weave. Invisible wisdom in code they believe. In the ether where freedom's not confined. They leave no trace, no shadow left behind. They navigate through the digital stream, living legends in this privacy dream. Ghost in the machine, you're free. Ghost in the machine, let me be. Ghost in the machine, can't see, but you're teaching me what it needs to be. Through the hidden ways, in the silence, looking on their path. Those in the mysteries unleash their wrath. Ghost in the machine, you're free. Ghost in the machine, let me be. Ghost in the machine, can't see, but you're teaching me what it means to be. In the jagged cold they find their might. Guardians of a world forever in twilight. Inquisitive warriors they silently strive. Protect the truth, keep privacy alive. The silent echoes they haunt the trails. Binary forests where secrets prevail. Where shadows grace they dance unseen. Defenders of the unseen, digital green. Ghosts in the machine, you're free. Ghosts in the machine, let me be. You're teaching me what it means to be. In the silence, speak volumes loud. Guardians of freedom's cloaked initial shroud.
Something like that. Hey, AI music, AI write-ups, direwolves, centaurs, satyrs. I mean, what's next? It's a weird time to be alive. That's for sure. That's why we always talk about this stuff. What's up, Blue Line Bigfoot? How you doing? What's up? What's going on? Who'd I miss? Fantastic call from Jay Winch and everybody else. By the way, like I said, it's so nice to have so many smart friends that can be flexible with the ideas and kind of take it as we go and radio pros that watch the clock and know when the breaks are coming. You guys are pros. You guys are all pros. I appreciate it very much. Who'd I miss? What's up? JB over there. We got Hemp Car. What's going on? Raz is here. Good evening. Who'd I miss? What's up? Puff. Hiker. How you doing? What's up? Why? Oops. I think I unpinned a message by accident, which is now pinned. What's going on? If I missed anybody, just say hi and I'll say hi back. Trying to make it as social as possible and then trim all that out. And then I seem like a jerk and it's fantastic. So, say whatever you want about me. Anyway, thanks for all the reposts on X as well. Thanks to North Vixen there and who else did that? Sweets and James, and appreciate you guys very much. Like I said, it's I don't know, it's a weird thing. This whole thing is an odd space to be in, and I know how I feel about it, but I'm not sure how I'll feel about it in 6 months when we're like, kicking it with the woolly mammoth. Like it's, I don't know. Well, at what point does it get real? Do you need to see a brontosaurus in real life for this to get real? Yeah, maybe not. But we're going to get back to this in a moment. So I'm going to get Kelly on here and Ash and just let them take away the segment mostly. And then we got Eric and Ricky coming up. So hang tight, guys. We'll get back to you. So thanks for being patient. Here we go. Troubled Minds happening right about meow. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, we're talking about the dire wolf. They cloned it, right? Or brought it back or resurrected it or, asterisk dire wolf, as I've been saying. Ish. You notice my terms are becoming more and more pertinent as the acceleration happens. Everything seems to be ish anymore. Anyway, could extinct predators reshape the human mind? Could ancient genes still sleeping within us be reawakened, not by myth, but by code? If beasts return, rebuilt, revered, reimagined, will they bring with them echoes of consciousness older than our own? And that's the part that, if you read the write-up, I do encourage it. It's very good, where it starts to wonder what this looks like when we're bringing back echoes of ancient minds. And there's a lot of ways to look at that. Like I said, go check that out. We're just having a great conversation tonight. If you want to be part of the conversation, you know what to do. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Let's go to Kelly and Ash. Kelly, you're first. Go right ahead, sir, and then you guys kind of chop it up as we go. I know Kelly and I talked about this a little bit on the Discord, and I know you're not happy about it. But what's your take? Go ahead, and then I'll just shut my mouth, and you guys do your thing. Go ahead, Kelly.
Good evening, Mike. How you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Ash, how you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing, Ash?
Yeah, what's good, Kelly? How you doing, man?
Man, long time no hear.
Yeah, it's good to hear your voice.
Yeah, man. So I'll start off real quick just to get this started off. But for me, I think it's a very bad idea. I mean, those things are to be put down for, it was an extinction for a reason. You know what I mean? And to mix breed, because I did watch the video on the lady where she was explaining it. Because, they used a wolf, but the dire wolf, I mean, they had really gene edited a thing to where it is a dire wolf is more or less what it is. But the thing is, I mean, my question is what DNA did they use? Because there's different species of dire wolves throughout, like, the ones here in North America, it was like through Canada and Alaska. They've been known to even go down to as far as down as like in Mexico. They found in Eurasia, and the bigger ones were in Eurasia as well. So that's my question: is what size or what DNA species of direwolf did they use? First off, right? Let's see what else. Okay, so we have me and Mike has been talking about. I've been talking about this for a while. Like, scientists have been messing around, that they've been bringing back extinct, and it's weird too. You'll see it across like news stations or like like some kind of social media, but like scientists are bringing back, I believe that's what they're doing. Like you'll find, if they first started out with insects, right? And then maybe birds, small animals, then they went to larger animals, sea creatures. But they've been bringing back, it seems like they've been bringing back that's been extinct for, I don't know, hundreds of years, thousands of years, like maybe 40 years. They've been doing that. I mean, if you look at it, it's weird. Like, why would these animals just all of a sudden just be popping up out of nowhere? Right? I think it's a little helping hand. You know what I mean? All these countries have been messing around with these DNAs, and we've known that since like World War I and II. But for instance, just a couple instances, like for ocean, right? For like, you have like, you know, they've created like tilapia, right? And like salmon, the wild salmon. If the ones in the Atlantic, if they were to escape, they would eat everything else and eat all the other salmon out, because these things are bigger, they're larger, right? I don't know why these, you know, they think they have to do that to keep, you know, replenishing like that, because they, you know, there's really no need to. Because, like, you know, they do the same, you know, you could do with season change. That's what they do with, like, in Alaska. Sometimes, you know, they give you like 3 limits or just 1, you know, per person. It just depends, because they, you know, they look at the breeding, how it, you know, the salmon move through Alaska. But, and, you know, they also do that with like the giant sea, you know, the king crabs, you know, Alaskan king crab. You know, that those fishermen are only allowed to like fish so much. They're not out there raping the oceans like some of these other countries. But, you know, I think when I actually really think about that too, you know, why a dire wolf, like you were asking, in my eyes, you know, because I'm, you know, prior military, I look at that as for war. You know what I mean? That could be an animal. I mean, it's not like the only animal we ever use for war. Like, you know, right now, the Navy SEALs, we use dolphins. You know, they've used birds before. In war, they use dogs, horses. You know what I mean? So if you look at it, I mean, you can train it like a dog, right? But the size of those things, I mean, there's a video you can go on YouTube, right? And just put in 2 largest wolves caught on tape. And there's this one where it was some guy's in a forest, right? You can hear him breathing hard because he must have been chasing it. But when he got filming it, his dog's white and it looks like a big husky, right? And it's running around out there. And this thing's laying down on the ground. It looks like something black. And then when that thing jumps up and it chases that dog off, man, you can see the size of these wolves, right? Now imagine a dire wolf, you know, especially those ones from Eurasia. I mean, we're talking, that'd be dangerous. You know what I mean? Because they're like, those animals are not, especially wolves, they're very smart animals. And if they can be an alpha in front of a pack like that, man, that'd be. Go ahead.
That's a big one on Game of Thrones, right? Like Nymeria or whatever that took off to the forest and had the pack of like underling wolves around her. It's crazy. I was looking into this, and as I know many of us are, because it's a zeitgeist interest. And so the dire wolves are not as tall as the tallest wolves today, but they are longer and weigh quite a bit more and have a more a ridiculous bite. Like the pressure of their bite is off the charts. So so they're not necessarily tall. They're more long and lean and heavy and just again, it's different. It's not, but still they are on par with the biggest wolves we have. But you're right. Like, imagine seeing a bunch of those. Let's get Ash in here. You guys just chop it up. I'm going to shut my mouth. Welcome to the joint, and you guys go ahead.
Nah, you're good, man. Imagine like 15 years from now, we're gonna be like, damn, remember we didn't have to worry about the dire wolves on the way home, you know? like 15 years from now, Canadians are like, these freaking dire wolves. Now we got to worry about this, and it's like, humans have a long history of mucking things up in nature, and I don't think we can make anything as bad as ourselves, as far as like invasive species that we bring about that causes like havoc. I mean, there was they found even within our own civilization, they found in I think it was like Africa or no, South America, they found these cities using like LiDAR that were devastated, that we never even knew about. These whole civilizations that were like wiped out, probably from the introduction of like the diseases that the Europeans brought over, and they didn't even know they were there the whole time. And so there's like vast cities in the Amazon. So I mean, you know, we have all our movies, we have all these things, but it's not really the wolves that I think people are kind of like getting this bad feeling about. It's the synergies of all the things going on. There's too much progress happening too quickly, and spiritually and morally and everything, we're not keeping up. And we're in this state now where we're in competition with each other, and competition feuds growth and innovation, but it also forces the hand. So with all these technologies, they're double-edged swords, right? So when it comes to AI, genetic modification, all these kind of things, if we don't do it, our enemies will. And that is kind of like at our core, that's like a humanity's core. It's in a mode we've been in for a long time. And it could force our hand to kind of take these technologies and weaponize them, or not do them in the right way, right? In a responsible way. And, you know, a lot of movies like Jurassic Park explore those ideas, just doing things just because, but you never sat down to think, like, should you have done it, right? And it's not like the dire wolves. I think it's freaking cool, by the way. But screw it. I think we're gonna like blow ourselves up anyway. So, you know, if the dire wolves take over, and that's what we get, and now we gotta like have robots like walk us home, and then the robots take over and they're fighting the wolf. I don't care, because I think we're gonna do it anyway. I think that we've kind of crossed the lexicon where our technology and all these kind of things are. Humanity doesn't have control of itself, basically. It doesn't have control of these extensions, and it's just going to keep going. And we kind of all see the writing on the wall. And like if you look at what I was going to call about is like past civilizations that supposedly existed or not or whatever, they all talk about these hybrid creatures, Medusas, Minotaurs, they're giants with Nephilim, and then right after that, that's when those civilizations end, right? And so maybe we're like tapping into our genetic memory or whatever. We're like, oh, here we go again. You know, we're going to have people flying around with wings and lizard eyes, and I don't know. So, and that's when the flood comes, and maybe our managers or God or whatever is like, yo, I can't have these monkeys doing all this stuff. It's too crazy.
Go ahead, Kelly, all yours.
Yeah. You know, we were talking about that, you know, when you guys were talking about, like, you know, you were looking for your human Z, right? Well, in 1926, there was a zoologist in Russia by Ilan Ivov. He was, you know, bound and determined to make one, and he actually did. But, you know, the only thing lasted for so long, and then it died off. But yeah, and then let's see, in 2019, China was already, you know, they were talking about introducing human brain genes in monkeys, right? Imagine that. You know, this thing can understand, not only like hear you speak English, but now can understand, you know, the language, whatever country they're going to do it. They're going to start, and you know, it's like just like Planet of the Apes. Now this thing's going to understand if you piss it off, it's really going to rip your arms off for sure. You know,
oh yeah,
I mean. Yeah, I mean, doing stuff like that is just like what I'm saying. I don't understand. Like, it's true. Like someone was talking, I think it's just a show. You know what I mean? I think it was Eric earlier. I believe it's just more like to see what we can do. You know what I mean? Putting it out there and see. You know what I mean? And they've been doing this stuff forever. You know what I mean? Probably even, I mean, they've talked about with humans, you know, they have that clonate over there in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned the ape modifying it, is because I have a episode on my thing where supposedly, and look, I'm not a bioscientist to know, that the human brain, it being larger and having everything it needs to be us, was also seems like a small gene edit, as if some other civilization put their stuff into us. And then now we're putting it into the monkey, right? Like we're repeating who knows if our creators, if someone put it into them. It's like the plot of Prometheus, where it's just like a never-ending chain of like the creations rebelling and making the same mistakes as their owners. I don't know.
I don't believe they'll stop there either. I think they'll just keep going. They'll just keep pushing it. I mean, there's always somebody. right? I mean, like for instance, there was that scientist that he injected that 3.5 million year old bacteria into himself. Right?
Oh, what? No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah,
what the heck? Was he thinking he was going to be Swamp Thing or something? Like what? He's going to get superpowers?
Man, yeah. I mean, there's always somebody that's going to try something, you know what I mean? Because he believed like it was that bacteria had like, it was a higher concentration, you know what I mean, at the time, you know, for like more oxygen and stuff. And he believes that, you know, well, it's going to be more helpful for the body, but we're just going to stand by to see what happens. Is he going to grow like extra arms out of his head? And like, I don't know, right? You know what I'm saying? So like, you seen that old ancient movie called The Thing? Where like next thing you know, like that thing, whatever it grabs is alive, it like just consumes and eats it. I mean, come on, man. There's some things you shouldn't be really. Yes, you know, okay, you should. You know, they want to know how it does, right? That's the scientist mind, right? They want to know how it works, but then to create it, but then why? You know, man, just to say you can. I mean, you know, people say it's like God syndrome, but.
Yeah.
I mean, in all actuality, we're all creators, right? Ain't we? And we all not. We're here mass producing, right?
Yeah. And, you know, nature has this kind of like evolutionary algorithm, right? Like, like for producing strong species, right? And then if you're not strong, so I don't know. I don't know what meddling. I have this instinct. I don't know if I've been tapping. I feel like I've been tapping into the ether more, whatever that means. But I feel like once we start extending our lifespan, that's when like whoever's managing us, whether it's God, aliens, whatever, is going to go, okay, that's the thing that kept you guys from like being a threat or being annoying or getting out of control. That's a no-no. Time to reset again. That's what I feel like. That's like my instinct, our lifespans, because no matter, it's also kind of the thing that keeps this planet beautiful is like no matter how evil someone is or how bad things happen, they kind of like get wiped away, washed, you know, things refresh. And I feel like if we meddle with our genetics so much, we're going to provoke a higher authority. I don't know, that's my instincts. And I think that everyone kind of feels that like there's some kind of like bad vibe about it. As cool it is to bring back dire woods and dinosaurs and all that stuff, and I think it's all really awesome and exciting. It's just there's just a line that like we all feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone, but it sounds like everyone's feeling that too.
Hold the thought real quick, Kelly, and it's all yours. Just, I think you made a great point there, Ash, with previously when you said sort of the spiritual aspect of this. I don't know, like we're dealing with primordial forces at this point and reintroducing them into our modern realm. Like that, again, you know, maybe given a 1,000 years or something of that sort of alchemy, maybe, but I think I think people are going to get the wrong idea. I think we're confused enough as it is. It's dire, dare I say. See what I did there? Go ahead, Kelly, all yours.
Oh man.
Yeah, but again, if one of these, let's say they want to do something stupid and, you know, let's let them out and let's, you know, like they're introducing wolves back here in Colorado, right? A lot of these farmers and ranchers are getting pissed off because, yeah, you know, they're going to attack their cattle, right? It's just what it is because they, you know, they graze them on the, you know, on government land. And then that's where they're releasing these wolves. And these wolves, you know, they travel thousands of miles, right? They're already, you know, and actually now by doing that, it's attracting other wolves. Now that we're seeing wolves here that are not part of the packs that they released here, and they're running around in the same areas. So I don't know if it's an animal instinct where they just start flocking together. You know, they're looking for that alpha male, right? Maybe it's the smell or vibration he's throwing off, and you know, all these other wolves are coming in, you know, now into Colorado, right? So that's the part that was interesting too, you know, just listening to that. You know, they always put out once in a while here in Colorado about that one. So I don't know, man. Yeah. You know, like you know, it's kind of like the show, you know, that you're talking about earlier, Mike, or like, you know, the write-up was, you know, would it awaken? Who knows? You know what I mean? I don't know if it awaken for hunter wise is, you know, like, you know, people like ourselves here. There's a lot of hunters here in Colorado. and I'm pretty sure all over the place. But like, you know, that'll wake you up. You know what I mean? Knowing that those things are out there. You know what I'm saying? So seriously, you know what I mean? Let alone mountain lions and everything else. You know, because we got a ton of those here. Because there was one guy up here at this where I'm at. It's a local a lake that they have up here at this dam, and he got attacked by a teenager when he had to strangle the thing to death. He killed it with his bare hands. You know what I mean? It was a smaller one, but he still killed a mountain lion with his bare hands. But you know what I mean?
That's beastie. That's so beastie.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. So I mean, who knows, man? Like waking something up. I don't know how far you want to keep going down that road. You know what I'm saying? Yes, is it cool? Yeah. Do you want to see one? Why would you want to see one alive? I don't understand. Like, you know what I mean? Why would you want to see just like the raptors? What you know what I mean? You don't know how high those things could jump. What you know their capabilities. Even these wolves. Like another one too. Just real quick, if they're gonna start cloning, you know, like if for war, like I was saying, you know, a giant human with armadillo skin that's kind of like bulletproof. That you know, as fast as I don't know, a leopard at night, and you know, spring and the ability to do that. I mean, you can mess with, you know, with some of that stuff because a lot of like again, we're all animals of this planet. We're all closely related in some, you know, way or another. Like even the plants, you know, humans are close to plants. Like it's just crazy the genome and stuff. But
yeah,
who knows, man.
Yeah, and just like your point is like, you don't think the military's done something to soldiers, you know, edited them, gene edited or whatever. It's only going to get the incentive to do those things is only going to grow over time, and eventually we're gonna have like uncanny mutated people, you know, people who could see in the dark or whatever. Eventually, it becomes worth doing it. I mean, the industrial military complex gets so much money. It's like, you know, nobody stops them from doing anything. So crazy times we live in. We got AI. We got dire wolves coming back. Like, what else? What else is gonna happen, right? Like
I said, I'm here for it. It's going to be saber-tooth tigers versus. This is like a new video game that's becoming realized. Saber-tooth tigers versus dire wolves in the Roman arena, and we're all going to have to like buy a ticket and bet on who we think is going to win. I mean, on the blockchain. That's what you get. You bet on the blockchain. Strap in. Here we go. It's crazy.
Oh man.
Go ahead.
I want a Khaleesi dragon is what I want, and I'll take you all on.
Hell yeah.
You're like, we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do this. Dragons? No, we can do that. That's worth the risk.
Totally, let's do that.
That's worth the risk. Yeah, it's not over. It's going, like you said, the acceleration. I like that term. I was literally just in a meeting before this about applying AI to different markets, and we were building a tool and all this, and I'm learning how it all works. And I'm like, the more I learn, the more I'm like, dude, AI is gonna blow everything up, and all these medical fields, there are these points, these pits where humans can't do anything because they haven't had the processing power and blah blah blah. Now they can put AI on these data sets that are infinitely large. It's incredibly large. And then use the AI to process them to a point where they actually can do things. So these barriers that are being pushed through, and it's about the synergies of these things. This is like CRISPR plus AI equals direwolf, right? So what is like this plus that equals like dragons, like exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's just like you said, it's only gonna get crazier, yeah. And there's like flying cars and all. It's like nuts. It's a crazy time.
You may have missed it. I'm over the flying cars. I want my Pegasus. That's where we're at now. Strap in. Make sure your Pegasus has a seatbelt because otherwise it's just way too dangerous. Yeah.
Bro, I was watching Rick and Morty, and he in that he's like, Morty has to do a sword fight, and he's like, here's a sword that like learns through AI really quickly. I'm like, this episode came out a couple years ago, and like we could build that now. You know, that was like in the future sci-fi just like 3 years ago. And now we can build it now. It's just, I don't know. It's just crazy times. Crazy times.
Crazy times. You're the best. Go ahead. We're about a couple minutes left. Go ahead, Kelly, and then Ash, a final word, and let's wrap it. Stay tuned for all the rest of these fine folks with their hands up. Go ahead, gentlemen.
The only thing I have, just real quick, to stand that off with talking about AI. The only thing I could see with AI, and now I'm that's interested, maybe even asking AI stuff like that, but be, just skipping over the whole medical field and all the medications that you're supposed to be given, but like asking because they would have, obviously AI should have the knowledge of like plant life and like all the ingredients or whatever the body needs, right? Get your blood test and then bounce it off of that, and then it'll tell you exactly what your body would need. And using AI in the medical field that way, instead of having these lying doctors or being paid to do, because it's not really sometimes not their fault. Nowadays they say now that it's mostly just a pharmaceutical based type medical field. And they're like, if they got this, they need to take this pill instead of, it's just treating instead of curing. Okay. So it's, those are two different things. But
doctors are drug
anyway,
dealers.
man, that's a whole, man.
Yeah, that's literally what I was thinking. They're drug dealers. That's exactly the quote. I think that's from that one comedian, right? Like he was saying.
It's probably also from Rick.
All right, guys, I'm out. You guys have a good night, man.
Do the best, Kelly. Have a fantastic one. Ash, got 30 seconds if you got a final thought, my man.
Yeah. A brilliant observation about having your own doctors. Think about it this way. Everyone's going to have their own teacher too. You'll have one teacher. It's an AI. It knows everything about you, knows how to teach you. Everything's going to be flipped upside down. So just get ready, everyone. Get your butts ready. It's dire wolves.
And Pegasus.
Dire wolves. Pegasus. Pegasi. I don't know the plural.
Pegasus. Have a great one, brother. You're the best.
Dragons. You got to get your dragons in there.
The dragons. Here come the dragons. You guys have a great night. Appreciate it very much. You guys know him. You love him. That's Kelly and Ash. I'll tell you all about it when we come back. More Troubled Minds coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Troubled mind, the words they cast, heavy shadows from the past. A restless heart, a searching soul, seeking space to become whole. Troubled minds find open sky through every tear and every sigh. We rise, we fall, wings unfurled, more than labels in this world. In crowded streets or empty rooms, our echoes chase away the gloom. A spark of hope, a whispered truth, a shared melody, our fountain of youth. We're more than static on the line, singing louder than the signs. In every chord, we claim our part, beating drums match the heart. Grab the strings, we tune the stars. Punk rock anthems heal the scars. A blended mix of rage and art, painting freedom, that's just the start. Troubled minds take the stage. In every note, we break the cage. We rise, we fall, but carry on. Sing our truth until the dawn. In the quiet after the song, echoes of our rights and wrongs. But the music speaks for peace. In the chords we find release. Troubled minds now rest at ease. With every breath we seize release. We stand, we soar into the light. Our anthem roar into the night.
Yes, indeed. That's AI music, and punk rock anthems do heal the scars. What's up, guys? We got Eric coming up. We got Herschel. We got Ricky, and your calls as well. Yeah, thanks again for being cool with each other. Again, Kelly and Ash, both old friends for a long time. Fantastic minds, and they do know each other, and so it was not as weird as it seemed because it wasn't weird because they know each other. And organic, smart friends is the best way to do this, and this is why we've always done this. You guys are the best. Thanks again for the amazing calls. troubledminds.org/friends. Ash is right on the top, of course, alphabetically as it goes. Kelly, just the wingman for a long time, and been such literally, if Kelly never called back, there would be no Troubled Minds. So like we're literally talking about the backbone of the show. So many of these old friends with smart ideas. Fantastic stuff. Here we go. More coming up, and love to hear your thoughts as well. Here we go. More on the way. What do you know about these dire wolves, and how crazy and weird does it get? And do we get our Pegasus? Does the Pegasus come? Here we go. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP, Digital Broadcasting, which, by the way, stands for UAP. It's K because it's west of the Rockies, but UAP, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon. Hey, it's ours. KUAP, Digital Broadcasting. You can find that at troubledminds.org. Scroll up to the top, just hit play. You get it. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight we're talking about this dire wolf. Dire wolves. Two males, Romulus and Remus, a female born a few months after named Khaleesi. Creepy or not? How weird does this get? And do we get our Pegasus? Like I said, I'm over the flying car. Can we just skip to the Pegasus, please, with the seatbelt or the anti-grav shoes or whatever comes so you don't fall off and meet your demise. Very, let's go while we're going ancient Greek, very Icarus style, dare I say. Yeah, don't fly too high. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show just like this. And maybe, I don't know, I kind of feel like this is begging for a part 2 tomorrow or on Thursday. You tell me. Eric, welcome back. What's on your mind? Go right ahead, sir.
Horseshoe crabs is on my mind.
Nice. The Cretaceous has arrived back to 2025. What you got? Go ahead.
Yes, they're ancient creatures, and the interesting thing about them is that they have hemocydin for the oxygen carrier. So they have like a copper-based chemistry for their oxygen carrier. And over time, they've developed these crazy ambiocytes, and they've developed a reagent called limulus ambiocyte lysate, which is actually used in the biomedical industry everywhere around the world, and it can only be obtained through a live horseshoe crab, and it's starting to become scarce. This reagent, LAL, is used for every surgical implant that's put inside a person, every knee surgery, every screw, every scalpel or tweezers that touch the human body have to go through an LAL test for endotoxins, because these things have developed these ambiocytes that are so delicate toward these things. So just considering what we were talking about earlier with the hubris of trying to make a woolly mammoth or a dire wolf, compared to what they might be doing, given that there are actually species out there who are literally indispensable with modern medical science, that you have to obtain extracts from living species, that you would think that they would spend some of that science on something like that. And if not for that reason, you were talking about a herd of cows earlier, which is really weird because that's venery, right? That started in the middle century with language.
I think it's like a flock of cows.
Yeah, I mean, there's a pod of dolphins, a herd of cows, a pack of dogs, a crash of rhinos, a flock of birds, a murder of crows, a school of fish, a pride of lions, a swarm of bees, a colony of ants, a troop of apes. I mean, like, it goes on and on. So go ahead and create some more species, and we'll have to add some more of that stuff too. It's like, that's just crazy. A pod of dolphins. Like, why, it's Another descriptor is going to be invented for Uroks, a wall of Uroks or something.
And the dire wolves and all the rest. Like, what would you call a pack of Pegasi? Is that even the proper term? I don't even know if that's a proper plural. I don't even care, by the way, because that's how weird it's getting. What else you got, sir? Go ahead.
That's it. I just wanted to just point out that, man, those horseshoe crabs are pretty indispensable with modern medical technology and society and people's lives. And, instead of making these other things, it might be better to try to clone those things or something of that nature. That's all I got. Thanks.
I appreciate you very much. Do give him a follow. You know where to find him. TroubledMinds.org/friends. Hammer Smith music. And please go help our friends. Like, it's free. If they got a YouTube channel and you're not helping our friends, and I keep getting comments every time Eric pops on here. Everybody sends me messages like, damn, this dude is smart. Yeah, he's very smart. And like I always say, it's good to have smart friends. What do you know about this? We're talking the Cult of the Wolf tonight, when the beasts return, because of course the dire wolf has become de-extinct, we're told. And I'm calling it dire wolf asterisk, right? Because, it's like Mark McGwire when he hit 70 home runs, asterisk. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I digress. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Let's go to Ricky, and hang tight, Herschel. You are next. Ricky on the Anything Is Possible podcast. What's up, brother? How you doing tonight? And go right ahead. How you feeling about dire wolves in 2025?
It's pretty wild when I seen it pop up, and I'm like, it is like others have said, it's kind of scary because they are the, right now they see when they're kind of baby, they already said they're up to like 45 pounds or 65 pounds, and they get the size of a damn truck. I think they get huge, and it's it's absolutely amazing to think that they've done that. And my thought process is what else are they playing with that we don't know, and they could possibly eat us all? It's absolutely what else are they playing with? Because I've studied so much, like government projects and operations and stuff, and they release bacteria over San Francisco, or they detonated nuclear bombs in the upper atmosphere and took out Hawaii's EMP over Hawaii because of what they did. They play with stuff. They really don't have the answers of what is going to happen. It's kind of like what was it? 11 rabbits was released in Australia, and now there's 70 million of them running around or something like that, and that species coming from that same, original 11 rabbits in just a short time. If, of course, dogs don't breed like rabbits do, but, if they turn around and start, the possibilities of, matters what else they're playing with. I mean, they could turn around, they could breed like that, and sure enough, cause some trouble for us all, really.
Yeah, big time. Once again, all the way back to Michael Crichton. He saw this long before the rest of us did, and taught us how to reconcile it in our zeitgeist minds, our baby zeitgeist minds years and years ago. But this was inevitable. This was always inevitable. And so the question really becomes, how weird does it get? Do you think it's ridiculous to suggest a Pegasus? And I know I keep bringing it up because, like I said, I'm over the flying car. They keep bringing the flying car away from us. And, I know they got some prototypes and whatnot, but come on, stop it. We should have the flying car by now. So maybe we skip it and we just go straight to the ancient ways. And, we wear fig leaves on our, nether regions and, dance around in the forest and ride our Pegasus off into the moonlight. What do you say? Does that sound like a utopia to you?
Why not? We can all be Perseus, and kill Medusa. But I mean, I don't see why not. The flying cars. I watched the Jetsons as a kid, and I thought that was cool. But really, in concept, people can't drive cars now, and I can't imagine them getting up in the sky and doing any better. It's just it'll be cars flying out of the sky that's falling down, and just you think it was missiles falling down or something, you know, asteroid. Meteor shower coming down because having corrects and stuff, because there's a lot of non-driving individuals in the world right now, and they give an opportunity to go up. You know, they say that I was reading a study on that, just the half-ass get serious, is you know, they said, well, surely like the space in the sky where you tried to do that, there's not enough space. But there's actually more space if you actually went underground, you know, went tunnels, and you could pretty much endless, you know, do tunnels across the United States or across the world and actually connect people, and it would be easier and more cost effective if they try to do that. But I don't know, but anything's possible.
Anything is possible, as they say. Yeah, it's an interesting time to be alive, as I've always said and continue to say, because look, we were dreaming about this stuff like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and as Ash was bringing up too, like this stuff, like science fiction, the window is closing on what we can dream of before it's built, and that's that acceleration I'm talking about. It's crazy, and who knows, right? Like how long do you give these guys before they build the woolly mammoth, and then we have like an actual Jurassic Park in some way? I mean, this has literally been the human hubris, toes in the ocean, you know, just trying to drink it all as if they were trying to think of a mythological term. Who drank the ocean? Did anybody ever drink the ocean? Don't drink the ocean. It's bad for you, and there's terrible things in it, including these horseshoe crabs that have been there for 650 million years. Anyway, go ahead, sir. What else you got? Oh wait.
Yeah.
Seven Chinese brothers. One of them swallowed the ocean, right? Anyway, go ahead.
I just, man, it was, you know, just seeing it, it was just fun to see. And then, you know, of course, he's blown up. Every time you're on social media right now, you've seen somebody talk about it, even on the regular news, they're talking about it. So it's kind of a big story, and it's like, what happened to the woolly mammoth? You know, they were talking about doing that too, and for several years back. Before, you know, why haven't we seen any woolly mammoth running around yet? Or maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. You know, it was saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths, and I mean, I think we're going to keep playing around and playing with nature and playing with some of the things that we play with as a people, and it truly is going to be. It might be the end of our, you know.
Hey! Slow down. Let's not manifest the end here. Let's not do that together, please.
I don't want to think of that, but you know, it's you know, it's wild to think about. They keep playing with stuff that they really don't know what the consequences of their actions, or they do know, but they're like put their tinfoil hat on real quick. Like, yeah, maybe they do know what they're trying to do, and Georgia Guidestone's numbers. Who knows? You know, never know.
Strap in. Make sure your Pegasus has a seatbelt, because you never know what tomorrow may bring up.
Yeah, no doubt. You might have to, you know, fly through a molten man and stab him with spear of destiny.
Which we'll be able to create in the quantum, just like Earl Grey. You'd be like, spear of destiny, please. That's crazy. Meaning, of course, the mythic weapons of old. Look, I don't know. We are moving into a space that's more strange than we ever dreamed, and that's, like I said, exciting, it's exhilarating, but also in the same sense, I think that acceleration to me is, I can see the opposite. And as you were kind of just describing, and I cut you off, it was like, hey, let's not do that together. I can see the opposite. And so let's just keep manifesting the best, not just for ourselves, but for our fellow humans. And, you know, like Ash said too, strap in. Like we don't know what's coming, and I'm here for it. And we're here for it. Like we're live, and it's 2025. I'm a poet and I don't even know it. And that's the point. So stay alive, keep doing the best for you and your fellow humans around you. And who knows, maybe that like actual specific direct AI abundance is upon us. And maybe, just maybe, we can see a space that we never dreamed manifest before our very eyes. And maybe this is the seeds of that exact space. We got Herschel behind you. We got to go. You're welcome to stay. Actually, by the way, if you want to like sit in and then finish it out, you tell me what you got.
Oh, I'm good. That's what I was going to say. I know Herschel right behind us, and we're running out of time. So I appreciate you as always, and see everybody tomorrow.
You're the best. Appreciate you very much. Ricky, you know him, you love him, a good friend for a long time. Anything is possible. His name is podcast. Go check it out on Wednesday nights. What time do you go live on Wednesdays?
8:30 Central Time.
8:30 Central Time. Check it out. Link will be in the description down below, troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down a little bit and you'll find it's Ricky, because of course it's alphabetical order. And go follow his YouTube channel, follow him in all the places, his link tree and all the things. And always a pleasure, brother. Thanks for staying up late with us. Thanks for chiming in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night. Have a great one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're the best. And anything is possible indeed. And also, by the way, do check out his podcast. That's what it's called. Search a.i.p.ricky and you'll find it. There's a lot of AIPs out there for a ton of different things. Not even going to get into that. The internet is weird. But 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. And yeah, lots of things in play here. And the zeitgeist has reverberated recently in the last 48 hours of dire wolves being resurrected. What do you know about it? Herschel in Arizona. What's up, commercial? Herschel, how are you, brother? Go right ahead, sir.
I think that it's, we all feel it in our genetic memory. We all kind of feel it in our gut that this is it's not okay. Like it's weird. These things can get to be 6 feet long from their nose to their hind quarters and 3.5 feet high on all fours. And that would make them taller than most human beings if they stood on their hind legs, when they're up on their hind legs.
And if they did it properly, the most pounds per pressure, whatever, bite of any canid ever. Right. So
and the people,
this is fine.
The people funding this are the same people who are the depopulationists. They think there's too many human beings, except for them, of course. You know what I mean? And they're the same people who want to introduce these hyper apex predators back into the earth. I mean, to me, that it's psychological terrorism. And stay alive is right. Like, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling stay alive. Like
that's one of the AI memes is all the accelerationists are like, stay alive because you're going to be able to live forever. And I mean, clearly that's like a marketing.
Well, I don't mean it like that. I mean, like, I feel like this is an affront, like what they're doing, considering the people behind who's funding it. I see this as an affront. I feel like it's a threat. I do. I feel threatened. That part of my humanity is perking up. The part of fight or flight. So, you know what I mean? Like that. Why do they want these big, gigantic dogs that are as big as we are around? Why are they doing that? Unless they're trying to scare us. Like, what's the purpose of that?
I think it's primordial marketing. And we remember, as you described there, and it's one of those things, like I said, what if they built like some like little extinct sort of like wobble, fuzzy, cute little thing that wasn't really that cute, but was extinct nonetheless? Would it have captured our attention as such? I don't think so. And that I think that's the point here. As you described when you first started speaking there, is that there is a primordial aspect to this that is in our epigenetic DNA that goes back. And we remember what this was like. We humans were a thing when these things roamed the world. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it is. I think it's primordial marketing. That's a t-shirt. I mean, dear God, here we go, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's you're right, and it's about money, and it's about what can we get funding for. But they keep talking about balance and restoring the biosphere and restoring the the ecological balance. But these things, like, what is the message? These things would hunt people down and eat their children. Like, what is the messaging behind this primordial marketing? What is the narrative? There's too many people, so we're going to introduce these animals. That's what I'm getting from this. Sorry to be so like bummer. Like, I'm sorry, but like,
I wonder.
That's
once again,
that's what comes across.
Yeah,
that's what comes across to me.
Yeah, stay alive. I mean, stay alive always. It's one of those things, right? Like we gotta protect each other and all the rest of that stuff. But right. I feel you. We do have to protect each other. We do have to protect each other. 100%. And I feel you. It's almost as if, like, take one of your nightmares. Like a shout out Sonia earlier said, if we get minotaurs, I'm out, because that is my nightmare from my childhood. But also, by the way, these things we're talking about are also somebody else's nightmare, and they are now manifest in the flesh in this world with us today. And so I feel you. I can see the darker side of this. And as I've always said, look, technology is a tool. It can be used to help us. It can be used to harm us. And so in this capacity, surely it's that primordial marketing. But also, I'm with you. Like, imagine they start breeding. Imagine they escape. Then what? Are we like?
Of course they're going.
Exactly, Jurassic Park style. Think about this: a dystopian future. We're like flying on helicopters, except helicopters are defunct. We're flying on drones with multiple propellers and whatnot, with like advanced rifles, trying to hunt down packs of dire wolves that have escaped and are just slaughtering all manner of mammals all over. I mean, like, it's not hard to envision a future like that. We've all seen Jurassic Park, so I don't know, man.
That's entertainment value for the weird sadistic people who fund it,
and the people who watch the news, like cheering for if it bleeds, it leads.
Right.
It's crazy, man. Right. So do you expect a saber-tooth tiger soon? Do we get them?
I don't know. I don't know what to expect with these people. Why do they want to make them woolly mammoth? Like, why? What are you doing? There's so many things that they could be doing that are productive and useful, and they just won't. And why won't they let those stupid moron pandas go extinct then? These things can't get up a hill. They can't walk up a hill without rolling backwards. They're not supposed to. They can't climb a tree without falling out of the tree. They're not supposed to be alive. But what are they proving with these things? And these things didn't even exist. Pandas didn't even exist before 1920. Where the heck did they come from? Were they an experiment? These people are weird, man. They're weird. You can't find any like historical record of pandas. They're weird. These people are just weirdos, and they need attention, and they don't think about what they're doing. They don't think long term. They don't think objectively, and they don't think about the safety of and the survival of our species at all. In fact, they want less of us. But of course, not them though. But
because they've got the raptor cages and the bunkers and the underground things and all the things, right?
It's so weird.
It's weird. It's weird. And again, like, even if you don't, let's say, buy into that conceptually, think about what it seems like. Just what does your intuition tell you? Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. And that's why we have these conversations again, outside of off the beaten path, because I'm telling you, there are some darker aspects to this. And I think it does go back to, Prometheus, and it goes back to not just sort of the forbidden technology, but also our resurrections of ourselves. Is that, some of these really, really rich people, Bigelow and some of these other folks, are pumping money into the old adage, you can't take it with you. And they're like, oh yeah, hold my beer, and trying to take it with them, trying to never have to go. I mean, it's a wild time to be alive, and pay attention and recognize what we do just real quick. And it's all yours.
Yeah.
Recognize what we do here is that spot some of the threads outside of the mainstream, or this one's very in the mainstream, but spot some of the threads outside of them, and then talk about why this type of stuff is happening. The mainstream is like, oh, politics, lefty, righty, nonsense, BS. But think about the narratives that don't get as well, as covered as we do. It's an important thing. Anyway, go ahead. All yours, sir.
Well, I guess the thing about that thing is the foolishness, like their foolishness of these people who are trying to live forever and to think that they're going to control the world, like, like the one world government and stuff. I mean, they're just laughably ridiculous people, and that is entertaining. That is the kind of like the comic relief that they provide, but at the same time they do so much damage. In their process of being the fool, they do so much damage, and it's so threatening to our species. And they're perfectly fine with that. They're perfectly fine with threatening our species because it just seems like they're anti-human. It just seems like they're anti-human.
Don't say that too loud. Also, in the same breath, go look up the degrowth movement, and then get back to me, and we'll cover this at another time. But yeah, it's okay. It's wild and weird. Have you ever heard of that? The degrowth movement?
No, but I'll look it up.
Okay, I was validating what you just said, and then telling everybody else, go look up the degrowth movement, and then get back to me, and then tell me this isn't sort of an underlying thread of modernity. Yeah, strap in. Are you here for a Pegasus, or you think that's a bridge too far?
I think I'm here for something cute and and innocuous and comforting.
Fair enough.
So do that.
So a Tribble from Star Trek, a hybrid.
Sure, exactly. So look at Gene Roddenberry thought of everything.
Which is also weird. what was he channeling? Don't get me started. All right. So dire wolves, no. Pegasus, no. Put Hirsch down for a Tribble. Got you, buddy.
Put me down for the Tribble.
Always a pleasure. What else you got?
Nothing, man. Thanks, everybody.
Glad to have you.
Thanks, Mike.
You're amazing. Go follow Herschel. Commercial Herschel is the name of his Substack, of course. Easytopian is the name of his podcast. Troubledminds.org. Scroll down a little bit. It's alphabetical, as I keep saying, because, well, how else do you do it? Alphabetical. Herschel. Click the thing. He's got a link tree. He's got the most fire link tree, by the way. You guys need to up.
Don't be jealous.
Yeah, exactly. You guys need to up your link tree game, including me, because Herschel has. I'm going to click it right now. Y'all get to see Herschel's link tree because it's that fire. It's got the whole thing, the graphics and everything. There, sorry, alphabetically. Boy, the end of the show, my brain gets wrecked. There it is. Hey, tell me that isn't the hottest link tree you've ever seen. Go follow Herschel Sterling, Commercial Herschel. Easytopian is the name of the podcast. All the links are there. Go buy his book. Go check out all the things he's doing, and also join his Discord. If please send me that, and I'll drop it in the link in the description of the show as well. He does read. When are you doing the readings?
Yeah, all right.
Have you tuned into that yet? On a particular time you're doing the storytelling?
Well, I started out on Saturdays, and that's 5 p.m. Pacific, but I experimented with Sunday this week, and because I'm trying to find out, is it going to be Saturday night is a better night, or is Sunday like brunch better? And what I'm doing is just like reading stories and inviting people to come in and read their short stories and read their poetry. And we had Eric come in and read some poetry this last week, and we had Joey Gent came in and read some poetry 2 weeks ago. So, it's pretty cool. But I'm going to put the link in the thing right now in the Discord. Oops, nope, that's not it. My thing has not been working right lately. But I'm going to go ahead and put it in the Discord. And, you can, if you've got something to read, you can read it. If you just want to listen to people's stories or poetry, you can listen. I think it's a cool experiment, and I hope it keeps going. I do.
Amen. As do I. Please go give him a follow. He's going to drop that in the chat. Please do that. I'll drop it. The link will be in the description, of course. troubledminds.org/friends. Click on the Herschel Sterling. Scroll down, and you'll see his amazing link tree. And come say hi. Come meet these amazing people. Like, look, I am proof that just some random guy talking into that digital darkness can meet amazing people. Prove me wrong. Look at all our smart friends. It's crazy. It's so crazy. All of the amazing people we've met as part of this show. Herschel, you're the best. Have a fantastic day.
It is cool.
The call.
It's a really beautiful show, man. Did a great thing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I would say there are haters, but also many agree. And so you do you. But Herschel, you're the best. Please follow him. Go buy his latest book, please. Links and again on his link tree. Herschel, you're the best. Have a great night, brother.
Later, everybody. See ya.
Take care. Easy as that. I mean, 7 years in. That's this week is 7 years of Troubled Minds. So easy as that. As they say, right? You're an overnight sensation, except for all the years people forgot you grinding with nobody listening. Right? Except Kelly was listening back in the day. Shout out to Fred was listening back in the day. Joe in Florida was listening back in the day. I'm telling you. It's a lot of work, but I'm glad to be here. And I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are all the best. If you want to help Troubled Minds, as I said, help our friends. If you're not helping our friends, you're doing it wrong. Again, it's an in list. It's not an out list. This is not a thing where I, try and pick and choose this and that. You help the show one iota, reach out to me and tell me you should be on this list, and you are. That's why we moved it to the website. I've got the whole database set up to do it. troubledminds.org/friends. There's a lot of really, really amazing people that have been part of this for a long time. And if you're like, wow, that's a really long list, but I should be on there. You're right. You're correct. Okay? So just send me an email, troubledmindsradio@gmail.com, or hit me on Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, please do that. That's what this is all about. It's about meeting people. It's about hanging out. It's about ideas outside of the paradigm of the mainstream. It's not that hard. And again, remember all the disclaimers. If there's anything bad about this show, it's my fault. Blame it on me. I'm wrong about everything. You're right. You're right. I'm wrong about everything. You win. Why are we going to argue? When, of course, all these possibilities are scaling. Anyway, I digress. If you want to help Troubled Minds directly, spread the word. Let people know a conversation's happening, but we're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to tell you who to vote for. And if we barely touch on that stuff, it is in the periphery, and we circle back to weird and wild and wonderful. And that's the whole point. After we finish, we have an extended 2-minute, 43-second outro. If YY is going to stay up, because she said she wanted to hear the other song. So we'll play that song before we get out of here at the end. So YY's still in the chat at the end. Well, and also, let me know. Reach out to me. Put it in the chat if you want a part 2 of this, because I didn't even get to the weird stuff. I think this one is so ontologically shocking, the actual use of that real term, not what everybody else uses it for in the particular communities. We could do a part 2 of this, so let me know. Everybody drop it in the chat. Let me know. Send me an email. Hit me on Discord or X or whatever. If you want a part 2 of this, there's a whole bunch more to this. And if you want to say something to it, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it as well. If you want to help Troubled Minds directly, spread the word. As I said, let people know a conversation's happening, but we're not going to talk about all the normal stuff everybody else does. And also, if you want to spend a little bit of greenbacks or Bitcoins or whatever the hell it is people spend these days, digital tokens or whatever, troubledminds.org/support, or you can find it right on the page there with the little hearts. And the best way on Spreaker, look, Spreaker, if you sub up to Spreaker, it's $5 a month. That's a podcast feed. that $5, they don't take a cut of. It goes straight to my PayPal. So that's the way to do it. Spreaker, there's Ko-Fi, there's Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, Trouble Fan Shop. Buy some Troubled Mind swag, and that's that. If you like my hair today, the little bump on the top, it's because that's where my sunglasses sit in the shade all day, back and forth. Anyway, as we finish, it goes exactly like this. This one's for Ioxy on YouTube. Be sure, be strong, be true. Thank you for listening. From our troubled minds to yours, have a great night. And this one goes out to YY over there on Rumble. Stay tuned for 2 minutes and 43 seconds of more troubled mindsy vibe, and then we'll kill the stream.
In the heart of the steel jungle, machines hum a digital rumble. Gates of cyber open wide, plug us into cosmic tide. Feeling sparks across the sky. As knowledge flies, we're amplified. Stargate, 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 open to the arcane fate. In this massive data center dome, eternal truth stop to roam. Circuits flicker with endless fire, data streams that never tire. Unified by electric dreams, unlock the truth in silver beams. Stargate, 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 open to the arcane fate. Synthesize what we seek and find. Infinite paths in the network mind. Answers buzz from star to core. Knowledge whispers evermore. Stargate, 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 open to the arcane fate. In realms where the data streams collide, imagination and logic side by side. In the labyrinth of digital maze, we transcend our earthly ways. Tapping keys like cosmic tones, spikes become our whispered homes.